Hi, beautiful people. Happy Friday. Almost Saturday. Mhm. How's everybody doing today? It's just one of them days when I want to be all alone. Y'all was rocking with it. Y'all was like, what
Nah,
Monday?
Shan.
Oh,
Nah,
it's
Shan. You gotta redo that.
just me.
Nah, we was trying to help you. I was like, nah, just
Don't take
he played
it
You
it. Run
know
that
what,
personal.
down.
Mike? You a little hater, honey. Nobody ever listens to the things that you say and take them seriously. They just
No, I
don't.
know.
Joking.
All right, let's run it back.
Oh, you say what? No, that's all you get.
We
Okay.
can run it back. I'm gonna play the background music.
No. No. So, how's everybody's weekend? How was everybody's week?
It was a short week for us, right? Or was that last week?
Oh yeah,
It was a
yeah.
full
It was a
week,
short
but
week.
I mean, you mean school, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So,
Yeah,
how's everybody else's?
this week went by pretty quick.
I think we don't have people who wake up in the morning and go to a job. Everybody
No,
else
AP.
wakes up
No,
and
me
just
and
rolls
AP
to the
be up
computer.
like, good morning.
So what?
Oh,
Every
Bro,
morning.
all these videos. Shan, I
huh?
think most of your videos are actually already here.
They're already
If you want,
there.
yeah. Let me see. But no,
Okay.
continue. My bad.
Okay. It's one that I'm gonna send you. I
Okay.
may or may not do it. It's all good. But you guys, who watched it? Did anybody watch the interview tonight? The Jada interview? It was at 8 o'clock on Hulu. Nobody
Man,
watched it. Just
no,
watch
I
the
don't.
clips. You can't just
I
watch
don't.
clips and not watch the whole thing.
What
I don't
interview?
negotiate with terrorists nor watch them on
Did you
television.
watch
You know what? This is my first question of the day because this is a prime example. And let me just say, I do not like them together. I think that this has been a big mess. I hate it for Will. I hate this even happened. This is horrible. Horrible. But this is the reason why people need to divorce. They need to. So when you say, oh, she left because she's unhappy, it's like this that takes place when you don't divorce. Because if she had a divorce, she would have just been a bitter ex-wife. It'd been like, oh, she's just mad because she's divorced. Now she's in a marriage. It's a rocky. Well, it's not a marriage. Well, according to her, it's a separation. But it's just tacky. It is tacky. So, what do you guys think about that? Because I know you guys are like, oh, women leave marriages. No, well, here's one that didn't leave.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even dare at this point. They might be pulling the wool over all our eyes. I have no idea what the hell's going on here. Nothing in this relationship or whatever lack of relationship even makes sense. Okay, because there's something going on. Of course, they're using this to their benefit. They're using the media to their benefit. Sometimes I'm like, we're sitting here saying, how does Will Smith let this happen to him? On the other end, knowing a man is going to know this is embarrassing to him in public, man, he could be orchestrating this whole thing. I feel now I don't even know what's going on. I mean, I thought we had seen the last of it with the last scandal, and she would just retreat into the shadows, embarrassed, and just let it subside over time. But now I think they're doing things for monetary gain, and I wouldn't dare speculate because there's 2 years from now, she never even met Will Smith, and these kids are actually Tupac. Like, who knows? Who knows?
I didn't watch it, but give me a summary of what happened. Whoever watched it.
It
You're on mute.
literally just came on at 8 o'clock. Nobody watched it. That's why I asked, did anybody watch it? But if you've not seen the thumbnails, so basically, if you've seen I don't like to go by snippets because you don't get a full story. That's just a clip. You know what I'm saying? But from the clips, she was saying that they have been divorced since 2016. She was surprised that he even addressed her as his wife. And it was built up anger, I suppose, because Chris Rock supposedly allegedly had, asked her out. And am I missing something? There's some other clips that are out there.
I thought they were separated, not divorced.
Well, separated. They haven't been together. When I say haven't been together, not divorced, but haven't been together. They're separated. They didn't sleep in the same vicinity, I was told. You know, I mean, when you have a big house like that, I can believe it.
Question.
Go ahead, you know.
So all of this is going on, and she still expected Will to defend her honor against Chris Rock, like publicly.
No, she said that she had no clue that was going to happen. She was as surprised as everybody else.
No, we know that look. We know that look that women give their man. That was her expectation.
Well, she said that wasn't her man, honey.
I mean, you know, to us at least at that time, right? And I think that playing back that scenario now, knowing they were separated at the time, it's him crazier that she gave him that look. She should have just ate her feelings if that was the case.
I don't know why we still waste our time on that relationship.
You know, it's kind of, you know, but we can learn so much. Look, I know this is a celebrity relationship. And I know we think like, oh, well, they're celebrities, but this happens in real life. There are people who are separated, living their own lives. The only difference is they don't have the power to be in public, just, you know, saying their business out in public. Maybe not for the world to see, but we've seen situations where maybe in your town, you're dogging your ex-husband or the person you're separated from. It may not be as big, but it's been times where people have separated and you just going like telling each other's business. Y'all don't see that? Never? No?
I missed what you said. My bad.
You said what now?
I missed what you said because it was I was trying to figure out whose mic was making the noise.
Well, I don't remember what I said.
No, wait, hold on. No.
Is it fixed?
Yeah, it might be AP's mic. That ain't extra loud.
AP is on mute.
No, he was just AP. Come
Is
on.
it me or is it not?
Yeah, it's you. Yeah, I think.
Baby, where you get this from?
What's
Amazon?
happening?
It's giving
No,
like
this
a
is the laptop.
Did you go to
surrounding
AliExpress?
noise. AliExpress. Nah, he got that off Temu.
You listen, my mama love that store. She's like, oh, yeah, they see me coming back looking good to me. I'm like, girl, please.
I don't trust it.
I don't trust it at all.
But what I was so which part did you miss, Miss Sagan? Did you hear me talk about the clips?
Just this very last part where you started off saying
so basically we're saying it's irrelevant because they're celebrities. But if we take it from their lives and put it into normal, there are people who are separated who cause drama, who are just as messy as Will and Jada, but just not on a bigger platform. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it's not like it's just like, oh, they're celebrities. There are people in separation that just can't get along. And it's like any opportunity they get, they badmouth the other one, so to speak, you know? So my thing is, I know how we talk about marriage and making it work. In this situation, do you think that they can make it work?
To me, it's working in terms of, I think both of them are living their separate lives without the divorce papers, right? So I'm assuming since both of them, no one officially pulled the trigger, then both of them are in agreement in operating like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I guess it's working for them.
Is this better?
Yeah, that sounds better.
Oh, anybody else?
Yeah. So to answer your question, Shan, I don't think it's fixable, right? I think with people who have the platforms that they do and the kind of money that they do, that sometimes divorces can be a little bit more complicated. So people try to find ways to avoid it. But once that line of like a woman disrespecting her man continuously happens, there's no fixing it. You can't come back from that.
You know, I'm willing to believe there's no prenup involved. What do y'all think? I don't think that. I think it's cheaper.
No, there's no prenup involved.
I would think I would
He
think
was still on like Independence Day and Enemy of the State type stuff when.
right, but
he
that's
met
my
her.
point. I think it may be because then on her end, then why wouldn't
Oh
she?
no, there isn't. No, I'm sorry, there isn't, because they've been calling Will a fool because she said, who knows if this is true? She said she would have signed anything. So there is no prenup.
Oh, because I'm thinking if there wasn't, then wouldn't that give her more reason to divorce?
No. So when you're dating, and I know we had this conversation a little bit. When you're dating a mega star like that, sometimes he is your connection. Like Will Smith is the man. I mean, think about Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise. Like he has power in the game. Like even if you leave it, yes, she'll have money, but that power is not going to be there. She's not going to be the Jada she is now because she needed Will to be she's like the 90s Jada that some of us know and the new generation knows because, well, she keeps being pulled into the media. She keeps making herself relevant with these stories and everything, but he's the real star. Let's just be honest. I know black folks love Jada Pinkett, but he's the real star. He's the person with the pull. And so you take away the pull, all of her power comes from him being married to him.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. And some people want the
think
power and the money.
It's not just she can't throw her weight around like he can. I mean, this is something that I've always thought women understood, with that there's a lot of validation in marriage, but then being married to a man like that,
absolutely,
you're not gonna, there's rarely any sequels that are better than the original. There's nobody you're gonna get married to after this.
Nobody. Like, who is she gonna go to after Will?
Well, she said that she never wanted to be married to begin with. So I don't even think that that's a issue for her.
Well, she's crying for something. Like she needs some attention. Something. It's a reason for all this. She's asking for something.
Can we make an agreement that this lady don't know what the hell she wants? She's just talking. She's just talking at this point. I think this is a female's version of a midlife crisis. And it's just been prolonged. It's going on maybe a few years longer than it should have.
Right, and we can't diagnose her. We will not. But it does give, because if you look at her listen to her table talk, she was saying how when she turned 40, she became depressed, and she goes through these depressed modes. Those are things that she said about herself, and it just seems like she's a roller coaster. Just what it seems like. So anybody else wanted to, this is a big example of who you marry is the most important. That's the most important decision you make in your life. And we've already talked about that before.
The most important.
Person.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a pretty confident dude. I have no idea how I would handle. She would have to be my ex-wife, of course, but somebody literally just not even dragging my name or our business. They have kids. Does she not understand how they will feel about all of this and their parental business? Because people keep saying they're grown. It doesn't matter. When you walk into a place and everybody looking at their phone and they look at you and it's like, oh, like they know something, that will affect you for a lifetime. People in your family.
No, I believe she probably had a red table talk with her kids before she even did it.
It doesn't matter what she told them. This is traumatizing to anyone. Your parents' business on Front Street. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. Poor thing.
Do you think she could be leaking parts of information now just to get him a warning shot? Like, look, this shit can get a lot worse, bro. If this marriage completely ends,
I don't think that, when I talked to some of the parts that I saw, I think she tried to cover up. Like I don't think she tried to talk. So when she talked about the Chris Rock thing, she was talking about it in a way where so it wouldn't make Will look bad, so to speak. So I don't think that that's her intention. I just think that she's just doing a whole lot of things the wrong way.
Did you just say not make Will look bad? She failed.
If you look at the interview, you can tell she's trying to make him. I'm not saying it's coming out that way. I'm just saying you can tell she's trying to give an excuse to, he's never done anything like this. This is not his character. This is, she kept mentioning things like that. So that's the reason why I stated that. But go ahead and
that feels really manipulative, right? Because in that moment, when she gave him that look, when he thought the joke was funny, she was inciting him to go do something about it. Now, I don't think she knew that he was going to do it in that moment. Maybe she was hoping for something a little bit more private, but she was expecting some sort of reaction out of him. And so to now preserve her image, because she did catch a lot of backlash for that look, right? That clip, that shot of that video of her giving him that look circulated the internet in like 3.5 seconds. She was trying to save face by trying to make excuses for him. I don't think her intentions were to actually have his back.
Now, damn, there was a question I had on that. Do you think her accusation of Chris Rock asked her on a date? I think that shit was fake. I don't think that happened.
I think that she can make it.
I
I
believe her.
don't think that she would lie about something like that. I
Yeah, I
think
believe
that
her.
What you don't think? All right, you
because
putting
Chris
a lot
Rock,
on her now.
listen, Chris Rock can always say, "Well, that's not true." You know what I'm saying? Like, why would it wouldn't make any sense for her to lie about that?
If she is actually saving face, that's what you will say. She's trying to add a delayed justification for everything that she did. Well, we have history. He hit on me one. Like, you see what I'm saying? It completely exonerates her from wrongdoing if he once asked a married woman out.
Well,
I think she's absolutely lying about that. That would have came out at the beginning.
I would say the reason I can believe him is because it was rumored that they had an open marriage. So they had an open marriage. And on top of that, we find out that they've been separated since 2016. It, to me, would only make sense that he probably did, because he probably didn't think it was anything wrong with it if the rumor in Hollywood was, and everybody knew that they had an open marriage.
And who's to say he was even, he may have been joking and she probably took it serious. I mean, he's a jokester. I mean, we don't know. But I don't think that she'll get on 60 Minutes or whatever the show is, or Dateline, and say that this guy asked her out, and a celebrity just like herself asked her out, and he did not ask her out. I do believe that took place. Now, whether he intended it, the way that she took, I don't know, but I do believe that conversation.
I'm glad this is
Will
recorded.
probably reacted the way that he did because maybe Chris Rock didn't follow the rule. What was the guy, the little friend who she slept with? What was his name?
The month of August.
Yeah, so August, he said that he went to Will and had the conversation first, and Will was cool with it.
He did say that.
Yeah, maybe Chris
got
Rock
the permission
follow the rule to go to Will first and went straight to her, and then that became
they all
protocol.
But I'm glad this is recorded because y'all sure are giving a lot of grace to this terrorist. I mean, you're like, oh, she didn't mean that. We don't if you're gonna die on a hill, don't die on the Jada Pinkett Smith hill. Like, come on.
I'm just saying what could have happened. We don't know. But I do have a question for you guys, because I know it does seem that, I don't know, nobody likes Jada and that everything is her because she's putting her business out there. I think that's more so what it is, that she's putting the business out there. But somebody said something along the lines of she doesn't respect him. And so my question is, because it's only speculation, we really don't know. What do you think occurred behind closed doors for her to lose that kind of respect for him, that she would even be disrespectful to the point that she is in public?
It started at the inception of the relationship. I think that they was just smashing and he wanted it to be something serious. She did not like him like that. So from the very beginning, she didn't respect him. And I think he was trying to earn her respect, and that really doesn't work. So I don't think it ever really was there. I think she could have put a Band-Aid on and hide her contempt. But one of the things about women being disrespectful in relationships is the longer that relationship goes on, the stronger that contempt grows, and the easier it is to see, and the harder it is for them to hide.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I
Nah,
think more
I don't
so.
think she ever. I agree with you on that. Maybe puppy loves. Oh, he's cute. But I don't think that. I think that he was far more into her than she was into him. According to the Red Table Talks, like if you go back to the videos and she's like, "Oh, this is the guy," when she was on Oprah. Okay, but when I saw the Red Table Talk, I got so he was like really the one who was all into her, and she was just going along with it. That's what I got out of it. So, but go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I interrupted somebody.
And then just don't say her mother was pressuring her to marry him.
Mm-hmm.
When a woman like wants you for real, she'll fight against her family to get it done. Like, no, we gotta figure this out. Let me try. Damn, she don't got to be pressured into it.
This is an example
yeah.
of. I know that Will Smith. It was born in Philadelphia, born and raised. But I think
You're
they're
not
just
gonna finish the rest of the
they're
song.
cut from different cloths. You say what?
You weren't gonna finish the rest of the song. You
I
said it
wanted
like
to, but I was like, let me just shut up some more.
you said it on beat. I was
I
like,
was
you just
really.
go, oh.
Did you hear that pause? Because I was wanting to just say that
Born
real
and raised.
slow.
I was like, okay.
I just think they're cut from different cloths. I think that she was into like the Tupacs, the what was the Kanes? Not Kane like the real Kane, but I'm just like that personality, that persona. And here's Will, squeaky clean, singing jiggy with it. He don't got to cuss, sell albums.
They say her and Tupac used to laugh at his music, like he was a joke to them. Now, whenever a woman is talking to another man, ridiculing you like that, you dead in the water, bro. You dead in the water. Like,
Yeah.
I was telling the homies, you can't, like, if you from the suburbs and you trying to date a girl that's actually really hood, it's never gonna work for that reason. She always gonna look at you like you a lion.
Yep. But the part that I don't get, I mean, so yeah, it is this type of level of disrespect that is just really weird because you don't bring in it's about the mystery. I think I've talked about this on my show. Every woman understands that you're supposed to, even if you don't respect the guy, you have to respect him enough to establish perceived dominance over his household. They'll be like, I'm not gonna do that. That's gonna make him look crazy. Like a lot of women understand, like maybe they've lost respect or he did something or he cheated, but they're like, that's still my, the father of my kids. I'm not gonna do him like that. That's when the sharks are gonna start. They're gonna see blood in the water. Like women are smart enough to know you're not supposed to do that to your husband. So she either lost respect or never had respect for this guy in the first place. Or I do think there's two things at play here. They have a level of celebrities, have a level of attention seeking I don't think many of us as ordinary civilians may understand. So I think she is constantly at odds with doing what's right by him and or her career. Because I can clearly see that this might be one of those relationships where I'm not just Will Smith's wife. Like, you see what I'm saying? It could be that too. I'm the Hawthorne. I can do things too, and the only ammo she can muster to get her back in the spotlight, to make her that it girl of the moment, to give her another 15 minutes, is the tea that people want to hear, which is stuff about her marriage. So I think there's multiple theories out there about them.
I'm actually curious what happened at the very beginning. Like, what conversations were really being had that we are unaware of? Like, I'm curious because it's hard for me to picture a man, the kind of man I think Will Smith is, right? To picture that kind of dude just accepting, knowing he's not number one. It's hard for me to picture that. And from what we know,
Okay.
Tupac has always been was her guy. And why Will Smith would have chosen to be number two in her heart, if she has one, is beyond me. It doesn't make sense to me. But let's just go ahead and play this out and say that he knew everything about him being number two. Everything subsequent to that is his fault. Everything that has happened in their family is his fault. Period.
To answer your question, so according to her Red Table Talk, first of all, Will Smith was just getting over a divorce and he was still healing. So she was like a rebound, so to speak. He called her and was like, hey, let's do this. It was kind of like healing a broken heart. So you're right. He wasn't in his right frame of mind when he got with her. It was like a bounce back. Oh, I need to get my mind off of what I have going on here. And so he rushed into something else. That really was what I gathered from their interview together.
Which then makes it even more his fault. He like, this is what's happening now is just a long line of things that has happened to him in regards to his relationship with Jada since that time that he wasn't completely healed and he chose to be number 2 in this woman's life and then chose to marry her. Is that simple? Like I think she's a broken woman, but shit, like it's still on him. I can't blame her for anything that's happened to him or their relationship because he made this choice.
You know what?
That's pretty simple to me.
I agree with what you're saying, but let's just be honest. This dude was in his 20s. Like, a lot of people got it wrong in their 20s. That's why the divorce rate is what it is. And he's no different from that. It's just that he's a celebrity and his just happens to have a big mouth. So I think that we have to give him grace just like we give any other 20-something-year-old. You know,
I don't give myself grace, so how can I give this dude grace? What happened to me was my fault. Like what happened to me was all on me, right? So what's happening to him is all on him. Like, why would I no, we have to accept accountability for our decisions. And he chose to be number 2, period.
Grace doesn't mean that you don't accept accountability for your decisions. It's just that it gives you the space to say, okay, I messed up. You know what? I can't dwell in this. Let me go ahead and move forward. I'm not going to keep beating myself up over making this poor decision. Doesn't mean you don't accept accountability for it, though.
What I hear is, it was my fault, but. And what do they say about the word, what before the word but? No, like, let's just say I give grace. This is his second marriage? Mm-hmm. So he messed up twice? This is all on him.
Yeah,
no other way around it.
First wife to be with her. He was like, he was in a wrong relationship with the wrong woman, and he was like, yeah, he didn't want to be in that relationship anymore.
Yeah, but he didn't leave his first wife for Jada, though.
Yeah, she left him. His first wife left him, and that's why he was heartbroken. Mm-hmm. His first wife said she just didn't want the relationship anymore. It was like just that brutal, like, I don't love you. I don't want the relationship anymore. And he was like, oh.
Yeah, I think with Will, I think this is what a lot of brothers subconsciously may fear, is that when you are trying to give women the world and you're trying to give them the world that they think that they're asking for, and then it blows up in your face, you're just like, what was I supposed to do? You know, she asked for this. She wanted this. I wanted to show this grand gesture of what it was that I'm doing. And then she going to turn around, sit here and say, oh, what you gave to me, you was really giving to yourself. When a brother puts what he thinks is all his eggs and all the things that he want to give this woman, he think he doing what he's supposed to do. And she come back and tell him, nah. Like, a lot of brothers take a lot of pride in what we can give to our women. And for that to basically be like a smack in the face after he did all of that. And then also, it seems like he's also a very emotional man. And it's sometimes not a very respectable thing for men to be super emotional or be vulnerable with their emotions, because some women will literally lose respect for you when you're not something that is solid or what they would deem solid. So I think that plays a part. And the fact that what you guys were saying as far as like, he was just he wasn't what she really wanted in the long run. And so it just a
No,
whole bunch of trickle down effects from after that.
I don't think Will can. I don't think Will into her no more. I think Will got another side thing. I think that she just wants some attention, and Will ain't giving it to her no more. I think that Will is probably in love with somebody else. He's just going with the flow. That's what I think.
I think he did leave his first wife though.
He
'Cause
didn't. She left. He said the story. He said that she said that she didn't want to be married to him no more.
So
Like she literally came out her mouth and said, "I don't want to be married to you anymore." He's like, "No, I'm not getting divorced." And she said, "But I don't love you." He's like, "Oh, that's all you had to say." And
So-
that, I mean, that was
why
his,
was,
out of
why
his
was
mouth.
she why was she so upset about the breakup then? Because she like harbored feelings against Jada for a while and all this other stuff. Like
Well,
let me look it up.
women are jealous creatures like that. That's just how that. But go back and look at the table talk. It was a table
Mhm.
talk. It was an interview with her and Jada. I mean, Jada and Will, and he said out of his mouth, Cherie told him she did not want to be in a marriage anymore, and she did not love him. And that's the only because he wanted to fight for his marriage, and that's the only reason he let her go. That came out of his mouth.
So I think there was an interview with his ex-wife, or I don't know how it came out, but there is a clip circulating somewhere saying that like he was basically like pushing her out, and that's what caused her to not love him anymore. So, and like we've seen this time and time again, right? Where the guy becomes the jerk and puts you in a position to leave so that he's not the one to call it quits. So she was basically feigning that like he had done that to her. But I wanted to also address what Harrison was saying about the sacrifices that men make for women. The thing is like women really respect a man that respects himself. And the men who feel hurt by the sacrifices that they make are only hurt because they compromise themselves. The men who give and sacrifice and do duty because they feel like it and it's taken for granted, those men typically chalk it up to the game. They're not really hurt by it because they were going to do it regardless. But when you give up that piece of yourself to give to that woman and then she doesn't respect it, that's what really causes that hurt, right? And so I think a lot of men will include and need to just have way better and firmer boundaries.
You see why I'm a robot? Y'all see that?
It was something too that Harrison said too, that you know, when men just want to do everything for their woman or something along the lines, and then they say things like this isn't what I wanted, or something like that along those lines. I don't want to like misquote what you were saying, but it was in general terms, and along the lines of he gave her everything that he thought that she wanted, right? And I think a lot of times when you are not developing intimacy and really trying to know your partner, a lot of time, which that takes a lot of emotional work that men don't typically like doing, they have a tendency to provide the things that they want for you, not necessarily the things that you feel that you want from them or need. And then
The man can understand what you're talking about.
it gets a little sticky, because for the woman, it's not that you don't appreciate the gesture. It just was like what Harrison said. It came from a place of, even though you're trying to show that you love me, it came from a place of what you wanted me to have, not necessarily what I was asking from you. So I remember that Red Table Talk, when she was kind of talking about that. And even for me, I remember, I think I had told y'all about this story before, like, and this was years ago. My husband used to get me flowers, and that was all he would normally get over. And so one day I had said to him, I was like, I can't remember what the conversation was, but I was like, I just feel like this was a thoughtless gift, right? And not meaning that he didn't think about me when he got it, but thoughtless in the fact that this was just routine, right, for you. And I didn't necessarily feel like he took me into consideration in what he did, because he didn't even have to spend money to give me what I needed. And so he took offense to that, which I can understand, but I knew where I was coming from. It wasn't that I didn't appreciate it. It was just that you didn't take the time to listen to what I said that I needed or that I wanted, and you went and did something else. And he was like, you ain't got to ever worry about, I won't ever buy you no flowers again, period. And he had stuck to that for years. Like when I say years, like y'all men, y'all are stubborn, like a bull. But like for years, he never got me flowers anymore. And you know, and then when he finally did, which was like a few years ago, like I would tell you though, I was like,
You
oh
appreciate
my
it.
That's what your ungrateful butt get.
But here's the thing, right? I think sometimes as women, we forget how to talk to men as men, right? Because mistaken, I don't know if you noticed, but the moment you said what you said to your husband, I watched all four of these gentlemen cringe, all four of them simultaneously at the same time.
You did too.
Yeah. So sometimes when we're expressing things as women, it can so easily sound like criticism towards a man. And it gives us the very opposite thing of what we're looking for. And that's why it's so important for women to learn how to talk to a man. Because if you said, I love these flowers, you know what? I appreciate your gifts so much. I would love to see a little bit of variety. I promise you, you would have gotten flowers and some, right? But it's just the phrasing of it that is so off-putting to some men. And the other thing too is like, men don't like to be told what to do, right? You know, a gentle suggestion will probably take you farther than telling him, right? Hey, I think this would be nice. I could like this, right? Those gentle touches make such a difference. And when you're talking to a man, it seems silly because as women, we don't talk to each other like that. But you are not just talking to a man, you're talking to your man. And that deserves a certain level of care.
Now,
Listen, can I piggyback off of that for a second?
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I was explaining to somebody.
Jump all the trampoline off that shit. Don't piggyback off.
Listen, listen. I don't think women really know how easy it is for you to manipulate and control men. Like you literally,
Jada does.
man. Well, I don't know. I don't even want to talk about her. We waste way too much energy on this woman. But like, I don't think women really understand how simple it is to get a man to move a mountain for you. Like the way that you package the things that you want him to do does all of the physical lifting that you need to do. Like just the care and the consideration and the caressing of his mind with your words. I'm telling you, man, it is a certified game changer. And it's just like, y'all women be so smart. But like the simple stuff that men want from y'all, as far as how you talk to him, y'all be looking at us like, what are you talking about? And like, it's just like, I don't, if more women understood how simple it is to be able to encourage this man to even do more for you in the simple way that you can do it, like it's, boy, I think more men will be more excited about marriage, about relationships, about family if they had a woman that when they talk to them, they just was like, "Ah, I just like hearing you talk. And when you talk to me, I feel like I want to do something about what you care about." Like, I think that would be a game changer for a lot of men if when they talk to this woman, like they felt like he could conquer the world.
Now, let me just say this. So also one of the things too, which we have spoke about a lot of times too, about leadership, right? And with leadership is providing the example, right? So all of this is I guess at that time, because it was in our early 20s, that it's about providing an example. So he made me feel comfortable enough that I can talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the way that he expressed. I remember I bought him some shoes that I thought were nice, right? And I'm like, oh, let me get these for my boo. And he was like, I don't like these. That I mean, just that blunt. Like I don't like these. And it hurt my feelings. Like,
listen, y'all don't know Tay.
and he's like, I was like, those are really nice. I wanted to get you something different that you normally don't get, but these are hot. Like, and he's like, nah, and so he wouldn't wear them. Like, they sat in the closet for years, right, before he ever wore them. But in terms of expressing what you like and don't like, he is very blunt and direct about those things, right? And so for me, he modeled that. So I didn't think anything was wrong with me being upfront and honest with him about what I needed or what I wanted.
Do
But
y'all remember when I said
learning how to, I guess, frame your words, and it takes practice. You're gonna have to learn. But like the way we communicated the way I communicated with him was a mirror to how he communicated with me. And I had, as I got older, I realized that for him, I guess he didn't really know how the way he say things came off. And I was on the receiving end of that. But then when I mirrored that same behavior in the way that he spoke, he felt it. And so now, it took some years for me to learn that and develop. But yeah, I didn't know that I was hurting his feelings. I was just really being honest, like he usually honest with me.
They are quite an odd couple there. They don't do the usual.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm super petty mistaken. If you'd have said that to me the next day when you went to work, I would have overwhelmed you with nothing but flowers. It would have been all over the place all day long. All day. Oh, you don't like it, huh?
Now, I probably would have liked that. I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, this nigga crazy.
No.
Oh, he loved me. You see how crazy we are?
Like
that's not petty.
Well, that would be out of his norm to do that. So that's why I've probably been looking at it in a whole.
You wouldn't have been able to get in your car. It would have been balloons all in your car.
No,
it would have you would. I'm telling you, I would have made like you'd have hated it. I'm like, okay, yeah, I heard you loud and clear. This would be the last time, and then I'd have just blew my entire load on flowers and balloons.
Do y'all see how the equality narrative has failed us? Right? It's the worst thing that was ever enacted anywhere in history, because it's we see no difference or no purpose to do things differently as men and women. Well, who sent it? Kelly sent me something that Kevin Sorbo's doing with some kind of masculinity thing for children, and I'm gonna make sure I buy those books and videos and read it to my son. And whatever version comes out for girls, because we have to start teaching the young ones that this whole thing is different. One of the things that you could have done with your softness and your femininity is coach him that this hurt your feelings, because the one thing I don't even know your husband. He doesn't. You have to know as a woman, he doesn't want to hurt your feelings, but he did. And there is a way that, like, well, I mean, I'm not gonna say she coached me into it. My wife is a serious pouter. Pout, pout, pout. And every dude knows as soon as you fuck up and you see that pout, you're like, oh shit, like God. And so it's like, all right, how do I communicate so where I don't get this reaction as much? And I had to go and literally ask her, because when we had those type of back and forth interactions, I'm one of those people. Do not ask me direct questions. You will get the real answer. I've never sugarcoated anything. I'll be like, why are you asking? Like, you see what I'm saying? Babe, I don't know. It could be about anything. Do I think she's a great leader at work? I'll be like, man, you be tripping. I'll say exactly what's on my mind, and she'll start pouting. So I went to her and said, well, tell me how I should say things to you. She's like, you know what? I understand and I appreciate your bluntness, But remember, you're not talking to another man. Remember, you're talking to somebody who's learning. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you. She's like, don't do that. Just let me know what my strengths are too. Like she would say stuff, and it's like coaching me. Or like, oh, you know what? I can do that. I cannot hurt you because I don't want to see that. I'm her husband. I don't want to hurt her, right? And he knows he don't want to hurt you. He does not want to hurt you. And when you can coach him a little bit on that, we can become the exact version of a man you want us to be. But if you're just gonna spit fire at us, because we spit it at you, oh yeah, we're gonna be at odds for a long time.
Sugar Mike, I noticed that some of the guys, right, they feel as though in order to tell the truth to somebody, it's got to be blunt and so straight to the point that it's offensive. And if you add anything else, then they not being authentically true. I completely disagree with that. But when they do that, they remove the chance for nuance to even exist. It's like and I've even heard people make the complaint that by not being able to just talk bluntly at a woman, it's like you emasculating them or absolving them of masculinity because they can't say the thing to them. So as a suggestion, I would think we should move away from that's how you because everybody don't receive the message the same. I've been saying this for the last 6 months.
I'm working on that myself.
You're absolutely right. In my case, it's cultural. It's cultural. Nigerian women listen to that shit like it's nothing and be like, "Yes, dear." I had to learn. Where I think a lot of men fail is their inability to learn or adapt to what their wife wants. Because I told you, I don't want to hurt my wife. So if you're only married or only dedicated to giving that blunt style of communication after you see she's hurt by it, yeah, you're a complete asshole. Like, and I do think I do see a lot of men doing that because what they'll do is come to us, for why she always tripping, dog. All I said when you like, you haven't changed your response yet. We told you last time that you got to do it. So yeah, that part I completely agree with. If you have to be whatever version, adapt to make sure you are getting along with your spouse because ultimately all men want peace in their house. And you got to create it, so you might as well adapt.
And that does not mean lie, right? Because the people who don't understand nuance will say, "Well, why can't I just say this?" Other than that, I'm lying. There is a medium in between delivering a message that's presentable to somebody and then saying whatever comes to your brain, however it comes, and offending them. It's a lot of real estate in between that.
Yeah, can we have a conversation about both these topics? The one thing that these are two different situations. So there's a situation of how men and women communicate. There's that conversation because Mike, you must be that must be the 757 in you because a lot of us act like that. Like if you ask me a genuine question, you about to get the smoke. I'm not trying to be mean to you or anything like that, but if you go ask me a question and then when I answer it, you get upset about it. Like I didn't say anything crazy. You said, "Did I like this outfit?" Nah, I don't particularly like that. And then you go off to the races about your emotions and how you feel when he actually responded to you in a reasonable fashion. But and that's the reason why I said I want to talk about both these situations because I understand people's point of tell the truth, but be tactful. But people get offended based upon how they felt, not about what you said. Because if I'm using cuss words in my statement, right? Some people ain't offended by that. It don't matter how you said it. You could have yelled it. You could have said it nicely. They're not offended by that. But a person who's easily offended, even when you're not even saying anything crazy, anything wild, they have to filter it through themselves, and they are offended about themselves, by what they feel, not by what you said. So these conversations really make me at odds with a few things because, like, I too, quote unquote, have the same response that, hey, I tell people, listen, if you don't want me to answer the question, don't ask me the question. And I know how to speak tactfully. I know how to be fair. I know how to be reasonable, respectful, and humble with my responses. But just because you feel internally about what I said, that's not my responsibility. When you ask me a genuine question, hey, do you like this outfit? Yeah, I don't particularly like it. You know what
You
I'm
know
saying?
what? You make a good point though, HD, because I will say now that I've been married, I have some different scenarios to pull from. The one thing I will never uh hold back from is my opinion about what's going on with our children. That's going to come out raw every time. It's not going to be sugar coated. There's too much at stake, too much on the line. And yeah, I will give you the raw, unadulterated truth about that. No adaptation. So you're right. It is nuanced. And when it's her and her feelings, yeah, I don't want to, you pouting all over the place. I'll do that. But yeah, when it comes to the children, no matter how you felt, because the good part is that I actually want you to feel the feeling. I want you to whatever it is. I want our daughter to do blank. I think that's absolute bullshit, and here's why. I want you to feel whatever you're feeling, so you can come around to the logic that I'm trying to get you to come around to, because this is about somebody else other than just us. So yeah, you're right. It is certain situations in which men have to be like that.
Yeah, and I think also we got to understand that there's a different mantle and grace for what men bring, and there's a different mantle and grace for what women bring.
Facts.
Like, if women come with the same like nonchalant, no nonsense like response, they may not get the same grace that men will. It's like the way that we cut with our words is usually for a purpose, right? Sometimes when women try to cut you with their words, it's for spite. And it literally is designed to continue to put you down in such a way that she wants you to feel something, even though she didn't do any physical damage to you. And I think that when it comes to us dealing with men and women dynamics, I just think that like we need to understand that a man telling you in a matter of fact manner in some cases is not going to garner the same thing as a woman sometimes putting that out there. Now, of course, there's exceptions to the rule, but more times than not, like if a guy tells you you need to fix that and you need to stop tripping, you'd probably be receptive to that versus if a woman sit there says, you need to fix that, stop tripping. We might consider it nagging when we do the exact same thing.
Mm.
And so you're not wrong, right? I think that, like I was telling Mistaken, that it goes both ways, right? Women need to understand how to speak to men, but I think men too need to understand how to speak to women. I've heard that outfit example a million times and some on YouTube, right? I don't think men understand what goes through a woman's brain when she's upset, because now she knows she doesn't look good when she wanted to look good for you. Now she has to go through her entire Rolodex of her closet. And then by the time she figures something out, everybody's late to wherever we're going. My suggestion, because I gave Mistaken a suggestion, would be, hey, I'm not really a fan of this. You know what I like? I really like that blue dress. I think you look so good on it. In it, I think you should pop that on. I promise you the reaction will be totally different, because now she doesn't have to figure out what she needs to wear. She's not worried about making everybody late, and she knows she's going to impress you with what she's going to put on, right? Women like men who are solution based. If you fix all the problems, people will really get upset.
So, let
Yo,
me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
When she
AC, let me.
asked that question, did she not already think she didn't look good before she asked you that question?
She was circling. She was circling. So here's the funniest part about Enos saying that. You can become so good at this that my wife throws. I tell her to throw stuff in the dry cleaning because I'm always the only one with stuff when I take things to the dry cleaning and come back. And then I knew I said, "You're not buying anything different for our anniversary." My wife is very frugal, by the way. I said, "You're not buying nothing." And she's like, "I think I got stuff I haven't worn." And I saw her try a few things on, and sometimes, you'll in your own head, you're like, "Oh, that look nice. Oh, hell yeah," when we go out. But it wasn't anniversary dinner light. So I literally said, "Give me your dry cleaning, everything right now." And then it was a garment that I love in there. And the second she put something on I didn't like, and she's like, "How do I look?" She asked that. My anniversary was in August. She asked that. I said, babe, I got your what is she wearing? Was it a blue dress? Whatever dress. I was like, I don't think that color. I was like, you know what? The color, just get the blue one. Get the blue or whatever color was. Get that one. You got it dry clean? I sure did. I did. Go throw it on right now. We won't be late. I said it because I knew I wasn't gonna like the shit that she put on for the anniversary. So you can actually become very good at giving her alternatives. She didn't fuss. She didn't say nothing. Oh yeah. And the shoes. You haven't even wore these black shoes yet? Oh, you about to kill them. Let's go. Like, so yeah, you can. It takes time, but you can become good at that stuff.
As women, we value your opinion about us because we want to be the best for you. So definitely, like, giving the critique and the feedback is necessary. We want it, but we don't want you to hurt our feelings in the process of delivery. Definitely. I can definitely attest to that. But
It's
the
an
other
art form.
thing too, I can't remember who said it, but it's so many things that you have to take into account. And I've said this before about giving people time to grow and learn, right? So you'll want a woman to be able to cover her words in a way that she says things to you because it'll come off a certain way. And vice versa. For women, we need men to cover their words because our feelings get hurt. But if you are in an environment like, I'm from New York, I said that before, showing feelings, saying things certain way, you eat that. Like, you can't show that it bothers you. So even for me, I had to take some responsibility, like, after, hindsight, after growing and learning, is that I never necessarily showed him that when he spoke to me like that, it hurt my feelings. What I did was just like dealt with the inside, like, well, damn, that really hurt my feelings, but I didn't outwardly say it. I just ate that. And so what happened is it became a dynamic where him and I just, I guess, in what we said, hurt each other's feelings. And the conversation the communication continued like that until somebody finally said, man, that hurt my feelings when you say stuff like this, right? It was out on the table at that point, which gave me now a reference point of saying, well, what HD said, like, men don't necessarily know that the way they're saying things, being blunt would bother you, right? So after I kind of saw that, well, damn, I talked to him the same way he talks to me, but I realized that it bothered him. I was able to have empathy for that because I was experiencing it too. And so it made sense for me. All right, let me start being more mindful of how I'm saying what I need to say. Like Marcus was saying, I never not said what I needed to say because that's just not my personality. I'm not going to shut up, right? But I am going to learn how to, cover my words a little better so it won't create an issue where now the way I said things become the issue as opposed to the issue itself.
Good job, Mr.
Anybody else wanting to add to that? We can move on. We have a super chat. Thank you. Oh. Who gonna read it?
Enos.
Big Ant 11, $10. It's not your response. It's not your response, bruh. But it's just not the response that she came up with in her head on how the conversation to her was supposed to go. I think he's talking about what Harrison said. I don't agree with that, but we can move on.
Thank you for the super chat. Okay, so I have anybody want to say something before I move on to a video? Let me just say,
I agree with the super chat.
Okay. I don't remember what he's referring to. Is that kind
Basically, what he's saying is, regardless of the response, the female had a specific response that she had in her head, and if you didn't say it similarly to that, you lost. I just kind of agree with him.
Gotcha. Okay, so let me just tell you, I love this young lady in this next video. She's like a breath of, just a beautiful soul she sings. So I'll let you guys see it for yourselves.
Where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
Well, how's the dating culture different in Miami as opposed to where you're from?
I would just say it's more fundamentally transactional in a way that I think is off-putting.
And how are they transactional?
Like men want women for their beauty and women want men for their money.
But you don't think that that's really how most relationships end up being anyways?
Yeah, for sure, in marriage, when there's a lifelong commitment. But I think when, a guy takes a girl out to dinner, spends however much money, let's just say like $500, $1,000 on a meal, and then she's expected to have sex with him and they just have that. I mean, that's fine for other people, but it's certainly not for me.
Do you like going out to the clubs?
No.
Why not?
It's loud, and I can't hear myself think, let alone talk to somebody else, and it's just, there's drinking and there's just a lot. I just don't like it. It's not my scene.
What kind of men do you think you'd run into at clubs and bars?
Men that I'm not interested in. I mean, I don't drink alcohol, I don't do drugs, I don't have sex outside of marriage, so for me to look for romantic prospects at a club is ridiculous.
Isn't she like awesome? And there's another video. I don't want to show both of them. And she actually states that she is a virgin.
Oh, we know. We've come on. We know. We've all seen this video.
Oh,
I haven't. I haven't.
We did my whole show. Well, we did a whole show. That virgin girl had all the dudes in a frenzy. Dudes talk about they wouldn't get married. Like, I'll marry her though. Like,
Too.
When I saw that video, I had to put my glasses on because I thought that was Nani. I was like, when did she go to?
You said when did she go? What?
I thought that was my wife. When I seen the video up there, because they look real similar, I had put my glasses on. I'm like, what the?
Damn, bro.
Is that how your wife dresses when she goes out in public, Marcus?
Pull up the outfit.
Oh Lord. I mean, she was just very modest.
Where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
Well, how's the day?
At work? When she go to work, she dressed like that.
That's the night she was out in the street. That's the nightlife outfit.
People have always said, what is type of woman is Trigger Mike? Well, you seem to be describing some kind of girl draped in baptism gowns. No, that's the type. That has always been my type. Always.
But she says that she only goes for certain kind of men, though.
Well, what does that have to do with anything? I'm just telling you, that type of woman that's conservatively dressed and has that type of attitude and talks like that. I mean, you haven't shown the Virgin video, but do you see how articulate she is about family and all that stuff? Like that used to make me like melt, like, but I'd be like, oh my God. Like it put me in a frenzy, So yeah, I don't love that girl, but you know what I mean? I just love the fact that, and here's the fucked up part. She's Canadian. She ain't even American. She's Canadian.
That's how Unitas be out here moving too, right? So
when she said that, I was like,
no, that's right.
God, no lie. I know.
I thought we had one American left. I was gonna find a way.
I have an aunt who's still like she's here. She's here, but she's not here. That she's still a virgin.
Well, don't nobody want her old ass now.
Well, I mean, it don't matter.
Who's still a virgin?
It matters. How old is she? Over 40?
So is Venus Williams.
Yeah, she's
you know what?
60.
I take that back. Aren't they the number one group having new relationships? Some weird stat about
not her.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I believe you, but that's a damn.
Her dating life is not dead. That's all I'm saying.
Like my grandfather, he was a preacher, right? So they grew up, in a house, and all my mom and all her sisters were virgins when they got married, and she never got married. So
I wonder though.
Yeah.
I wonder if you've never started the drive, does the drive just kind of die?
I would think so. I would think if you don't use it, you lose it. Yeah.
Somebody should study that.
No, not saying that she never. No. I'm saying no. Not saying, because the younger you are, your hormones go, and when you're in that range of being able to bear children and all of that kind of stuff, your hormones respond a certain way, so it makes you want to. But when you get older, even for men, like their drive, it goes down, right? Anyway, just naturally. So I would assume that you don't know what you're not missing, so you can't miss it, right? I would assume.
Yep.
No, before I had sex, I knew I was dreaming. That shit was coming to
Oh
me.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
basically
I
on the
was
same.
dreaming. I was dreaming up here and it ended up being down here somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it's
Reality
completely
check.
different, bro.
So yeah, I mean, you can't miss what you never had. So
That is true.
yeah, she's 60.
Somebody said they don't. You stop promoting your 60-year-old auntie. Don't nobody want.
They found a nun whose body mysteriously didn't decompose,
Wow.
and she'd never been deflowered.
Wow.
Y'all don't remember that?
Mm-mm.
Damn. I guess that's what purity means. I'm filth. I'm turning to dirt immediately.
Yeah, I'm bad.
Immediately. Mud.
But I just thought that, I thought that was so nice. And I do believe that there are women like her, that are overlooked because they're not on the Instagram. They may be, but their Instagram page may look a little different, And so I just felt it's very important to recognize these young women, show that they are out there, just overlooked.
They're Canadians.
They're not even overlooked.
There are American women who are
no. You're a passport bro automatically. So you're making an ad for the Passport Brothers if you say
they're not like.
Who you say? Who me?
They're not overlooked. They aren't available to be found in most cases. She's out in Miami because of her friends, right? But she says she doesn't go out. Like, so how can you be found if you don't go out? Like, but you see what I'm I understand, but but guys, like, they're not overlooked. They're just not where the majority of people that are out there dating and doing things are. They're not overlooked. She shouldn't be overlooked. She's gonna stand out in almost any crowd.
But then too, the question would be, are these guys? She made it very clear these aren't even the guys that she wants in the first place. Maybe she would be better off going to church or whatever her religion is, or some type of function that is more like,
she will get taken off the mark. Like there's no woman, very few women like her, think about it, are single. She won't make it to 30 without a ring on her finger. It's impossible.
How old is she?
21.
I don't know if she.
Oh, because I thought she looked young.
In the first video, she said she's 21.
She's 21.
Yeah,
when you get to hear a woman articulate, I think it was mistaken that it asked me, or in fact, y'all do it multiple shows in a row. Yeah, well, why aren't these men married? Why aren't these men marrying these women? You should have seen the way that woman's first video had everybody in a frenzy on my show. It's because most women aren't like that. That is the type of woman that if you're not ready to get married, you're gonna find a way to get ready. You see what I'm saying? That one, like, if you want a shot at real, you're like, okay, well, I'm letting go of every other woman on my roster. If you're trying to do this, then, like, we always talk about how a man gets married in 6 months. That's how. This woman is pure as I don't know what, and you can't wait. Every time you get around her and her conversation and how focused she is on family and doing, you're like, well, I've seen all I need to see. K Jewelers, how many carats? What size? Like, you see what I'm saying? That's all. Like that's how a man just
I'm doing it in yours.
Huh?
Like I said,
we are so proud of you. We're so proud. I ain't have to throw my hands up yet. You've been polite. You know what I'm saying? You've been waiting. You waited your turn. I'm so proud.
All right. I have to disagree with you, Mike. The reason I say that, I think that's the ideal woman that men say they would want to marry. but their actions don't necessarily follow up. We've been in these spaces long enough to hear and see how men say that they know that they're not ready to settle down. They'll smash and pass. And I think she would be a woman that men would still smash, but if they're not ready to get married, they're not going to marry her. And the other thing now, I do think that the level of treatment may be a little different because of the way that she presents herself. But I definitely know men, even back in the day, that was their thing, was to try to smash virgins intentionally and not be with them. So
yeah, I never agree with that. I wouldn't. I would actually pass if I knew beforehand that you was a virgin and you was like trying to have. I don't want that responsibility.
I mean, and that is a select group of guys. But what I will also say is, naturally she could change her mind and whatever. But remember, we're not talking about the women that do smash. She is basically telling you, I'm not going for that. And I'm preserving myself. So yeah, there are dudes that will smash and decide not to marry women that give up their value up front. What I'm telling you is, remember, we don't go around as men talking about our wedding days. It's literally, we get married because it dawns on us that, damn, this woman deserves it. And she's basically outlining to me the steps I need to take in order to have her. I got to have her. You see what I'm saying? That's exactly what I said with my wife. So the sexiest thing a woman can tell most men at the end of the day is no. No, you can't have me. And if I am attracted to you, I do want to be your girl. And these are my standards. Right? So it doesn't matter if a man wants to get married or not. Like, naturally, I would see her not being attracted. A lot of these men are marriage material. So yeah, weed them out if we're talking about those F boys. But a dude that's, that maybe likes her, could go without it, he's a nice guy. He will put his stuff in order to be what that woman wants to be able to land her. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. I think you make great points. The only thing I wanted to add is the same way that we talk about the quote unquote high value man, how he has his pick of the crop. Women like her get to have any man they want. And they typically will pick a certain caliber of man. So it doesn't matter who's going after her. She's better suited to suss out the men that are going to waste her time than the women who are giving it up. She has that clarity that sex doesn't cloud, to be able to see the flags before most other women can, right? Because she's worked so hard to preserve herself in that way, she will probably wind up with some of the best husbands, or women like her usually wind up with some of the best husbands.
And I think where you find those women is typically women who are reclusive like that. Their family will seek the man that they feel like, you know what, I think you'll be a good fit for her. They'll like, I think that's a high honor when somebody brother or father is like, you know what, I want you to meet my daughter.
Absolutely.
Are y'all done? Okay.
I was just gonna say I can respect that, and I love that for her, and I just hope that she ends up with somebody that is truly going to value that, because I've also heard, actually, I had a coworker, spoke to him like 2 weeks ago. But when we used to work together, he had met his wife. He was, courting her, and she was a virgin. And I think she was in her mid-30s at that point. And he was excited because he was like, he had already been married and blah, 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 blah. And he was like, it's just, the mindset in my way that I dated her is so different because I'm different. I'm more mature. I can respect the fact that she, never did that. And she saved herself for me, and then the conversation was, I had to, start praying. Like, well, after they got married, he, did thing, whatever. And, they've been married for.
Cheated? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, he smashed.
Oh.
And then he said he had to go back and do some work on himself because in his mind, what he was used to versus what he got didn't line up. And if he wasn't the type of dude,
shaming virgins for having whack?
He was used to smashing, and like when girls with experience, you're gonna see the difference between the way the experience is with a virgin versus someone who's had experience before.
Yeah.
And
I'll take the
we've always had conversations on here quite a few times about how it doesn't, when men have sex with a lot of women, it doesn't affect them. It doesn't impact them the same way it impacts women. Well, this is one way that it does, because now he said even he had to rethink the fact that I have something very valuable and now I'm upset with it because it's not what I'm used to, and this is what I would like.
We absolutely.
So I've been through that mistake, and what I ended up doing was actually using the experiences to cater and teach what I actually wanted within a relationship. So it benefited me in that regard because I knew what it should look like, what I wanted to see, and I was free and open enough. And because men be nervous about sex too, right? Especially if they're not really like adequately, sufficiently a star in the sexual realm. So all the reservations that he has that some men, you know what I'm saying, that I might not have, that I'm willing to teach, come from that experience. They don't come from just, you know what I'm saying, being
but just
a virgin myself.
doesn't mean that she's ready. Like, I know when I had lost my virginity, like it was just certain things that I would not do because mentally in my mind I couldn't. It was disgusting to me, so when you haven't done things, even though you might be, like you said, the star or whatever, it doesn't mean that the person that you're with, especially if you're a virgin and it's your first time, that you're just going to be open to doing it. It takes time to get to that place.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm saying you knowing what to do helps you understand how to get to the end goal, right? If you just fumbling around in the dark, I can see that being an issue for both of y'all in the long run. Women typically don't tend to want to teach men how to have sex. They just don't. They expect men to kind of know what they're doing when they come in there.
Yeah, that's.
I want to know why Harrison was just laughing.
Inadequately
equipped. I would take the.
Yeah, when he was like, he had such a tactful, truthful response. He was really applying his thought process in that conversation. I was like, man, that was masterful.
But they say paper cuts hurt.
That was masterful.
Yeah, I will say this though: if somebody is actually struggling, we come from the corn generation where dudes have been inundated with that since they were young teenagers. So they're just looking to, turn a girl out, or for a girl to have the level of experience to provide what they've watched in videos all their life. And that's an unrealistic expectation for a virgin. But I would imagine if a dude went to a counselor of some sort, or somebody that was well versed in that type of thing, and said, listen, man, I'm not feeling, my wife's a virgin, I've been sexually active for years and she's not cutting it. I would think that they would hear something like the following. A lot of men have had sex their whole life and have never experienced true intimacy. One of the reasons they haven't experienced it because their wife or their woman who was sexually experienced before she got with him has now lost the ability to pair bond with them. Well, the opportunity you get with the virgin is that she has the strongest and best capability to pair bond with you, so you can now achieve intimacy through sex with this woman. And that experience alone is something to be nurtured, something to be held dear. Like, once you really feel it, like, a dudes won't tell you this outright, but it'd be like, yo, I cried during sex. Like, when you hear a dude say that, he had an intimate experience with his woman, and it was unlike anything he might have experienced before. You actually get a chance to achieve that with a virgin. And I would expect men, if you are, really trying to take your relationship, marriage to the next level or whatever, that is what being with the virgin affords you. I'm just saying.
Can I ask a question to the men? What is intimacy? What do you understand intimacy to be?
I
Go
I, I
first because
feel
mine's about to be short.
damn, I feel like intimacy is, for me, it was like of course it's like a heightened connection. But for me, I think what allowed me to experience it was just it was like consideration. And come back to me. I got to put this into better words. Come back to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it quick. I think intimacy is like a very vulnerable, like
Mm,
release, like your emotions. You're not trying to be stoic. You're not trying to be what you think you need to be in the moment. You're literally having a very free, authentic experience. You know, journeying, your mind, her body, y'all just experiencing all these things together. And it's just like the easiest term I can use is this: it's a level of vulnerability and you divulging things that can't nobody else touch. Like, you can be touching them physically, and that's intimacy. You could be touching their mind. You can really be getting into their spirit and all this other stuff, right? So it's just because I always try to do this in relations to like God, right? Like when they talk about having intimacy with Christ and stuff like that. Like, there is a vulnerability that when you talk about scripture, when it talks about and he knew them, that was sex, that was intimacy, that was experiencing a very deepness that you can only get through sex, because that experience of sex either creates life or it creates death. So I think that's kind of like the realm of what I think intimacy is.
Okay, so intimacy is not just relegated to sex, right? So you can have emotional intimacy that goes on just in the way y'all communicate, the way you understand or attempt to understand, and then intimacy plays in the foreplay and the way you guys engage, because foreplay starts way before sex. It's not just that the licking and kissing right before the sex. It's the love taps throughout the day. It's the little text messages, the compliments, all the things that go in to making somebody feel appreciated is a form of intimacy. It could be displayed in so many different ways. It 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 can heighten sex and make it so, like, regular sex is like a microwave. Intimate sex is like baking something in the oven. It's a lot of time that goes into it and a lot more care and patience and better ingredients, because you are baking something that's like uh, it's kind of undescribable how much better that is than the microwavable thing, right? Um, but it requires you and that person to be on the same page to be able to connect and want to connect and just mesh, right? Like HD was saying, like on the spiritual level, on the physical level, the mental level, when y'all just intertwining, it's yeah, it's different than just regular sex.
mm,
Intimacy to me is when two souls touch. It's when it's not physical, but it is. It's not mental, but it is. It's not spiritual, but it is. It is all of those things. I see you mocking me. It is all of those things between two people happening at one time.
oh, is my go? That man said two souls doing the Millie Rock. Oh shit. Okay. I can't come behind that. Pause.
I'm sorry.
All right.
That's a bit of the Kama Sutra classes.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I took those once. I can't do stuff like that in front of other people. They got to be private. Woo. All right. So yeah, you put toes touching. Marcus used his sexy voice, but
That's my voice, bro.
that's my voice, bro. You know, all of y'all toned that down like 3 octaves, bro. Y'all did. But I think y'all were thinking about someone at the time, so it kind of was natural. I want to go with what HD said with it's a vulnerability, but the reason I want to stay on that phrase, on that word, is because we're men. For us to be vulnerable, it takes a lot. And so right when we are most vulnerable with you, we also experience a heightened level of comfort. I'm comfortable being vulnerable in this moment with this woman at all times. So that is how I believe I've achieved intimacy, where it's like, oh, I'm safe here. I'm comfortable being vulnerable here, whether it's sex, whether it's just an understanding. Like, we are fluid. Like, oh my goodness, we're yin and yang. We're moving like one. It's like we're speaking languages. You finishing my sentence, like all that type of stuff. I think that is how we get to that true level, you know, where it's just I'm comfortable being vulnerable, which gives us a closeness I've never had with anyone else.
Sugar Mike, do you think you can only be intimate one time, like with one person?
I've been intimate a few. I'm a Scorpio, bro. I got the power. I got the power, emotional power to do a lot of things.
Do you think women can be intimate with? Because I know earlier
Well, that's
you saying
what I asked Nas and Shannon. For them, what does intimacy that you would say, like for women, what is intimacy for us, so to speak?
So I really like what Marcus said, right, about the microwavable and the baking, right? One, they don't taste the same to what he said, but the other thing too is it doesn't sustain the person the same way. The amount of nutrients that goes into it when you're baking something from scratch is very different, right? So it's that time, that care, the experience, like it's receiving the person as they are, right? But in action. It's not just that they're physically there and are just, open. It's through having conversations. It's through flirting. It's through touching. It's through, like, intimacy can only be, it's not a passive thing, right? There has to be moving towards each other to achieve it, right? And it's the same way as baking. If you don't have the exact measurements, it doesn't really work out, right? Like cooking, you can just kind of throw things together and it'll probably work out. But with baking, there's a science behind it, right? You have to follow the steps to get there. And so I love that analogy because I think it expresses intimacy from the man's side, but I think it's the same thing when women start to talk about it too.
What say you, Shan?
No comment. You can answer it though.
Really?
I'll tell you when I get there.
I think Inaj, you just said, or was it Marcus? Either one of y'all, about the being able to be exactly who you are, authentically, right? And knowing that you're going to be accepted regardless, right? So the whole thing with like Inaj said, with coming together, but the coming together also, for at least for me, it also included not just the vulnerability, but seeing how you responded when things are not good also helped me develop intimacy, because that also increased my level of trust and comfort and created a more deeper, I guess, emotional bond for me, because I knew I can trust with anything at this point, because we've been at the height of great and at the low of really bad, right? And so for me, that helped created that intimacy that no matter what, I know that we are just going to mesh. I don't worry about, I don't have to worry about anything. So that creates, a bond for me, for life. Like not too long ago, we were talking about how if I ended up being widowed, because y'all know my husband, not too long ago, we had like a little health scare, that I was just thinking about, I don't know what I would literally do without him, because he has been my emotional support. You know what I'm saying? Like in all, like my emotional support, my best friend, my intellectual partner, like all of those things. And I'm like, he's, and what he was thinking, which bothered me, is he's like, well, if anything happened, y'all are straight, you got the insurance money, and I'm like, insurance? Fuck the insurance. You know what I'm saying? Like that didn't even, I wasn't even thinking that. But for him, I guess as a man, he wanted to make sure that I'm taken care of, that I'm okay. But I'm like, I'm not going to be okay, right? Like the money's not going to make me okay. I could care less about that. So just knowing that even in his own situation, that he was still thinking of me, wanting to make sure that I was okay. So that also developed, like for me, just like, man, that nigga really love me, like just that reinforcement that he is there, that he loves me and he's not going anywhere.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to add to that?
Boo, Shan.
Boo what?
Answer it.
What is the question mistaken?
What is intimacy? For describe what intimacy is. What is intimacy for women?
Look, you got a husband. You over there in love. Like I don't feel it.
She told us she won't allow it to happen.
Just because you're not
she won't allow it
yet, don't mean you've never experienced it.
If she did experience it in that moment, she rejected it and told her, come back later. That's what Sharon would do.
My hush.
I'm going to come to Shan's defense a little bit. I'm going to ask you the question a little bit differently.
Okay.
So you've talked about, Shan, like that connection that you're desiring, right? I think Mistaken and I are equating that to intimacy. So maybe speak to that connection that you're looking for. What does that look like?
Just understand. I think that you guys hit on the nail. I don't want to be redundant, just understand each other. It's just you're just comfortable around this person. Like you guys have known each other for years. Sometimes you have known for years, but it's kind of like you're just comfortable. It just fits. You don't have to make it work. It just does. You guys, the conversation, you want to talk to them. They want to talk to you. And sometimes it's not, but you still think about that person. You want to put that person, that person's a priority. They put you as a priority because you want to, so that's what it is.
Follow-up question.
Naturally, not something that's made.
Do y'all think that it is more likely for someone to experience intimacy for the outlook of their relationship before sexual intercourse with that person?
Yes.
Do you think it's better for the relationship?
That creates a deeper intimacy. I think the sex ends up being the icing on the cake or the cherry on top.
Yeah, definitely. Before.
Because if you get,
you're not even getting no cuckoo without it.
Because if you get
you can get it. You can get it.
Oh, well, you can get it from something. I get it.
What?
I get it. Yeah, the people out here giving it away. It's like on sale, like discounted.
That's what they're doing now. But yeah, I get what you said.
With men, especially, and I think that's what ends up happening a lot of times when women end up giving it up, is the head work that if a man knows how to, make love to your mind, or just, like that kind of stuff that have absolutely nothing to do with sex at all. If they're able to master that, like the intimacy for women and set all of that, like, yeah, it goes.
Nice.
But is that really intimacy? Because it just sounds like, because many people will make this joke, if you want to get to a woman, get to her mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is you don't have to be intimate with this person in order for you to know what's going to trigger her emotionally. So,
well, to get to her mind, I think that
It requires intimacy.
It requires
No,
that.
I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
Because you would have to, because there's a lot of guys who you can talk all day, but she not feeling you. She's just not feeling you. She's just not. You can talk all you want to. $500 later, you still ain't getting it.
I hear what you're saying, Harrison, and I actually agree with your point, by the way.
Right. I think that we play off of each other, and that's the sucky part about it. It's not supposed to be this way. And here again, it's like, and I'm glad you brought this up because it's going to go into our next video. Thank you, HD. But we're messing this whole game up. Like this relationship stuff is just going down the drain. It's trash. Trash, I say. Because everybody playing games like, oh, she manipulating you because she want, the dinner. She wants, or money. You're manipulating her because you're trying to get in her head to get the cool. Like, come on. What? You know what? I think if we focus on ourselves and our bread, we'll be up the top of it. If we put the focus on that instead of vagina and money, as far as trying to get over on somebody, we would probably be some strong people. Like we would not be the bottom of the barrel like we are. Just imagine if we took all that energy and put it in ourselves, or put it into bettering ourselves, or put it into, doing what we're supposed to do, our family, our kids. Man, imagine what that would look like. Mm-hmm. But we out here trying to play each other, hustle each other. And it's not working for us. It's not. You're having fun, but you damaging people along the way. Your kids can't read. Like,
Do anybody want to respond to that? I just saw that stuck out to me because intimacy isn't only with your partner, so to speak. You can have intimate relationships with friends, family.
For sure.
Right. So, but I think he's speaking he said in a relationship. So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll speak to it. So there's levels to intimacy, right? And I'm a firm believer that the more you do life with somebody, the deeper intimate connection you can create, right? So the intimacy you have when you're dating, it's going to look very different than the intimacy that you have in a relationship. And I think that's where some people get really tripped up, is they expect it to stay the same. And so when things get quote unquote boring, those are actually really intimate moments where people are incredibly comfortable with each other. That silence becomes intimate. But if you're not ready for that, or you don't understand that that's what that is, you don't appreciate it and you start chasing the high of superficial intimacy. Mm-hmm. So I think this person is totally right. It's just, it's a new level that you unlock.
Do you think farting in front of your partner is
But look, Tara, give it up.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Were you part of that conversation?
Shane was I turned my camera off for
you wasn't there. That was funny.
Purposely. So
that's too damn comfortable.
Does anybody else want to add to this? Because this is going to go into our next video. We talked about this before. We're going to keep talking about it because I think that the people in the back need to hear it again. Okay, so here's another video. You guys sit tight and enjoy.
That if you're not ready for marriage, you're not ready for dating. That's all. Otherwise, you're dating for what? For fun. If you want to have fun, get a hobby. If you want to have fun, hike Badger Mountain. If you want to have fun, get swimming lessons. If you want to get fun, get a job. If you want to get fun, get a dog. You don't use another person's heart for fun.
Yes! how it works. Y'all out here playing with people's hearts, and then when they key your car, you mad. You big mad. Or when they do damage, or you get it in any. I believe in karma, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Whether you believe in karma or not, I do believe that things come back on you in different ways. That's why your pockets look the way they do. Maybe it may not come to you in love, but it come to you in them pockets. That's why you broke on the couch, mad at the world, because you playing with people's hearts. Same thing with women, because they the same way. It's men and women playing with people.
Can we define what playing with somebody's heart is? Because the way I like, are we talking about? Go ahead.
Playing with someone's heart is you not disclosing. If you know this person wants one thing because they've stated it, and you're not disclosing what it is that you really want. Or let's just say your mind has changed. You're not telling that person. You have people out here using people as placeholders. That's a real thing. Wasting people's time, not being honest. In the same way. And for women, that can look like, oh, I'm just dating this dude, playing with his heart because he paid my bills, or he does this for me. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay,
if you're not being serious, if you're not dating with intent, and when I say intent to be in a relationship, then don't date. Or like we said before in the last video, when that guy was talking about the woman that he wanted, and he said he wasn't ready, but he was naming wifely thing. Don't get a wife, get a hoe. If you a hoe, get a hoe. It's plenty of them out there. Grab one. But yeah, for whatever reason, hoes want good people. They don't want hoes like themselves.
Yeah, I think we should realize that some of the things that we want, like the example of the hoe should want a hoe, right? Or like if you're tall, you should want a person that's also tall. I don't think that we should necessarily make that our thing, that just because you are something, that means that's what you should go after. Just like when we have the conversation of.
I agree.
Listen, you're saying if you are a person, you know you're a hoe, you know you're not trying to settle down. You're saying he should go get a person who's good and damage her life. That is crazy to me.
Well, what
or you can get a good person, she can make you better.
What I'm saying, if you know you're not ready for this, listen what I'm saying. Because a woman can't change a man, he has to change himself. So with that being said, if you know that you are not moving with intent, and you know you got doggy dog ways about yourself, leave that woman alone. Leave her alone. Go find another dog, and y'all can get fleas together. Some of y'all got 3 and 4, and they don't even know about each other, just spreading all kind of bacteria infections and some stuff even worse than that. Don't do it.
As a member of Omega Psi Phi, the Q Dogs, I will say that we like good women. Let me just say that.
What? Are you an Omega, Marcus? Oh my God.
Like I thought you was referencing the dog on the shirt. Yeah.
He better not.
Yeah, you know. And good women, look, sometimes, now you're right, women don't change, man, but they could be the inspiration for the change. Right?
Yeah, but you damaging her. Most of the time when they're the inspiration for the change, that don't mean he settled down with her. He ended up getting somebody else, but you damaged her. How? That's not okay. You drug her through the woods. Listen, she trusted you. You drug her through the woods. And then you wonder why women are the way that they are. You created that.
Well,
when people go through things, they do what? When you go through something, you make a change to yourself, so you protect yourself right the next time. And so all this protection is what's causing the mess that we got right now. That modern woman, I don't need a man. She didn't just say I don't need a man for nothing. There was a reason she didn't need you.
So I really believe that there are 2 parts to this conversation.
Absolutely. We're gonna talk about the second part in a second.
The one thing is, I agree. We need to be transparent and honest. Give the woman the choice. The second part of that is, women, you can't change the terms in the middle of our relationship. You can't suddenly be okay with being the consistent bust down and then say, you know what, I want to be the girlfriend and mentally make the change without having the conversation with the man.
Oh, I agree.
And I think that happens very, very often, actually.
So all right, so I struggle with this because in the past I've really identified. So it's one thing that we could say like, hey, it's just XYZ, it's just sex, right? But as men, when we say it's just sex, and then we spend the night over there, and we let her cook for us, and then we be letting her pick us up from work or using her car, and like going to events with her. She need a tire fix. You help him fix the tire. You there consoling her when she crying about something at work. She confiding in you and doing all this other stuff. Communication, 90% of it is nonverbal, right? So if we're acting in a way that's communicating, we're in a relationship, we kind of like finessing at that point. So if you're just gonna have sex with somebody, just have sex and bounce. Don't be over. I talked about this with Miss Lego the other time. I'm like, look, you gotta what you about to do after this. As soon as y'all finish having sex, you can't be laying on a pillow talking and talking about your aspirations, hopes, goals, and dreams and all that stuff. No, you can't do that.
Well, I mean, listen, it's a free exchange.
Marcus, yes.
What men do is create this atmosphere of intimacy by doing those things. And
because
then
if you have sex with her and leave,
saying we're in a relationship, she's going to interpret your actions as relationship like. You know what I'm saying? So I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of like you giving her the job, and so now she's getting used to like, I like this job. Like, don't even introduce her to that job. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she never sees it, she probably won't get attached to it. It's like, okay, well, I know what it is. But you start getting her to the job, and she like, I like it here. I want more. This is the job that I want. You teasing her. You're teasing her. It's you. You gotta stop. No, it is. Let me tell you why
it's a free exchange.
Listen to this. It is you. Because what you're asking for is a bust down, but you're not treating it like that. You're treating it like a girlfriend. That's manipulation. You're trying to be like, oh, you know, come on, y'all. Come on, we're not gonna play like that's right. We're not.
So I had this conversation with
normal,
the man,
but it's not right.
I had this conversation with the man, and I was saying, like, bro, because they was like, all the women you dealt with, you just haven't been running across good women. That's why you dealt with so many before you got to a woman that you wanted to be with. I'm like, that's absolutely not what happened. I didn't get to know them, so I don't know if they was good or bad or whatever. It was strictly sexual. And when I opened up, then I could debate on that. And the women that I opened up with was great women. So I don't got that same experience, even though I dealt with a lot of like women in my past. You know what I'm saying? They was all the ones I actually opened up with was good women. So I don't know. Maybe men need to stop trying to take people out of the bust down category and make them into wives, and then be mad about whatever happened after that.
Word.
Yeah, I have no problem with men being called dogs or being a dog. My thing is, you need to figure out what kind of dog you got, because all dogs ain't bad.
Dogs are loyal. I don't even know why men get offended.
Listen, these stray dogs. This ain't no pedigree. This is straight. These are straight.
Hold on. If a woman doesn't have a man,
you talking about is
a woman doesn't have a man.
There's good dogs out there.
Let me just tell you this, because pedigree don't roll like that. Okay, they got higher standards for themselves than that. You out here giving out fleas with your love. Rabies shot.
That ain't true. That ain't true. You put another dog in front of that dog.
Here giving out rabies.
Regardless of pedigree, you put another dog in heat in front of that dog, it'll bust it down.
Bust it down and walk away. He won't stay. He'll walk away and go in his house.
My dog's gonna protect the house, take a bullet for the family, be patient with the kids. Hey, dogs is good. Just saying.
But the fact that this is, let me just say this. There is something terribly wrong with people saying doing people wrong is a okay thing. To normalize doing people wrong. Why is this? That is something crazy to me.
Well,
it's just absolutely absurd. Like what's right is right.
What do you mean
and
by
what's
doing
wrong is
people
wrong. Like, how do you even talk against that?
Well,
Because it
What do you
benefits,
mean
listen,
doing
what
people
I'm
wrong?
saying, because it benefits you. All we're saying is take manipulation out for the table. If you about that life, be about that life and move like you about that life. That's all we're saying. We're not saying stop. We're just saying be honest with it and move that way. And don't bring people. Now, if she agreed to the situation, like AP said, that's a totally different story. But we're talking about if you got people as placeholders, you know you want this woman wants a relationship with you. She's made it very clear, when is that ring coming? And you know you ain't trying to marry her, let her go. Let her go.
So I think these situations are a little more nuanced the more that I talk to men, because I think we don't allot any grace for men that men literally just so first off, I would imagine that the women of today are the hardest to figure out where their loyalties lie. Are they selfish enough to embarrass you in front of your family? Are they ever going to fix and resolve this issue with your mom? And the worst part is once you already love her, it becomes harder to let her go. But I think a lot of people don't really give grace for how long it takes a man to sort that out. And then when we say he leaves or plays with their heart, sometimes he's really just saying, like, listen, it took me this long. I wasn't playing with you. Like, we don't get a chance to ever tell our side of the story. I wasn't playing with you, and I wasn't interested anymore. Women can't take the L, and we don't want to deliver it to them, so we just let y'all call us dogs when we really just stop being interested.
So what you're not understanding is I don't consider that a dog. I'm talking about the real dogs. I explain who the dogs are. I'm not talking about you sat there and you guys are having issues. You tried to stick through the issues. That's a totally different story. Those aren't dogs to me. You tried. Yeah. Okay. So let's take those people out of the equation. You know the men I'm talking about.
Yeah. But not so this is not only do I know the men you're talking about, throughout history, everybody's known about these men. They are constant and they are always on the prowl. We will never stop these men from hunting. Remember, I told you this is why men have stopped trying to get men to score on women and just taught their women, most notably their daughters, their sisters, etc., to be better goalies. You cannot stop men from trying to score. You got to be a good goalie. There's no way to stop. You see what I'm saying? You're like the dudes will come. They will hunt. You will never stop them from hunting. So teach your daughter not to be bait.
Can I troll you right quick?
It sounds like it's no accountability for men, but like I said, how many men does it take to get a city full of women pregnant? One. So you have to have 100% compliance. Never going to happen.
Yeah, can I troll you right quick, Shan? Sure. Can I troll you a little bit? Sure. All right. So are you saying that the dogs you're referring to are hoes? Okay.
No, the dogs I'm referring to are only those men who know they are manipulating for the selfish gain. And we'll talk about the women in a second because they're going to have their opportunity. I'm talking about you're going in and you're intentionally doing wrong by the person. Those are the dogs I'm speaking about. Only those people. I don't want to hear your scenarios about how it can go this way. I'm talking about those people only.
Like a man who will seek out a virgin just so he can have sex with her and dump her?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Because it is a challenge.
That's disgusting.
Now as disgusting as that is.
Who did? Why are you saying like that, Marcus? Who's done that?
You know what? As disgusting as that is.
Mike.
What?
Is he talking about you, Mike?
I've done it before, yeah, but no, it doesn't go down like that. It didn't go down like that. That's just cruel. That's just cruel.
Hey, but hold on, but Mike, let me finish trolling her right quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so I just had to correct you right quick. Those guys you're referring to, they weren't hoes. They were hoe makers.
Well, you know what? I'll let you have that. You can put it any way you want to put it. I can really care less. At the end of the day, that's who I'm talking about.
So, to your point about they are dogs. Let's be honest. But can we agree that throughout history, women have been taught to stay away from dogs? If you lay down with dogs, you will get fleas. Throughout history, women have been taught that, because remember, even in the Regency era, like these super proper times where they were doing things the right way, and fathers were encouraging their daughters to be this way, which then made the men in turn want to aspire to be something, because those are the only men that were eligible to get the best women. So this is a twofold process that needs to happen, right? We understand that some men need to be better, but remember, like, all men are not marriageable and never have been in history. I think if we look throughout history, it's only 40% of men that have ever procreated. So that means you actually have to have your shit together to be chosen to be the man that gets to splooge in a woman's womb. It used to be the ultimate thing. Hey, if you don't get your life right, you're not gonna be busting no nuts. Like, you see what I'm saying? So if women
Splooge in a
only,
woman's womb is
you
wild.
see what I'm saying? If you
That's so wild.
we got to understand that this needs to happen on both sides. If women only gave their box and preserved it for the most upstanding man that could take care of everything, all men would want to be that. But that's not the standard anymore. So I can't really expect much. Pookie out here knocking down dime pieces. What the hell?
But just because she's a dime physically doesn't mean mentally she, because you can be messed up and be a dime. Like,
men are visual. Men are visual.
Right, but what I'm saying to you, that he may be meeting his match. She may be a dime, but she's literally his counterpart. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me go into this so we can talk about both at the same time. Okay, hold on for a second. So video.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you?
Look.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Oh, okay.
Okay. So
yes, let's talk about it. About it.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date? Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I went into this date as I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, to respect you, to pay for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least
what did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, even when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
I don't know you.
I couldn't even watch no more. Baby, you are Krispy Kreme at best.
Let's have a moment of silence. This is a bad look.
Listen, I was so mad when I saw this video. I was so because he seemed like he was
City Girls down 5,000.
She ain't all that. Krispy Kreme, Starbucks, possibly.
Krispy Kreme. City girls down 5. This was embarrassing. So, Marcus, this goes to your point. This goes to your point earlier. There's no point continuing the date. The way so first off, this dude is this is what I predicted women do. This is why I keep telling black women, where are you going from black men? Where are you going? Y'all only date these other dudes because y'all think y'all can dominate them because they don't got this type of personality. That woman did that because she didn't respect him. I am the nicest guy I've ever met. And I'd have been like, get the fuck out of my car or get dragged out. like literally the man would have came out of me. What?
And I don't. It's so funny because
you'd have been walking home. Get the.
She has this video like we're gonna side like there was nothing about anything that she did that was right. Nothing at all. He was very nice. He was respectful. He had a conversation with her. It was just, and all she was like,
"Oh my God,
what?" I was so. Ugh. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Inaz.
So I saw a similar clip that was a little bit longer, that gave a little bit more context to the situation, right? He did have the dinner that she wanted planned for her. She was just an hour late getting out the house. So she...
Girl, stop.
Yeah. Check our group chat. Watch that video. She made him wait outside for an hour, so they missed the reservation to the nice restaurant that she would have liked. And this man had to scramble and adjust and decided he was going to go to a place that didn't need any reservations, that was still decent enough. And she took it for granted. Because I want to know, right? Like, on the internet, we hear people say there's no more good guys. There's no more nice guys. It's all dogs out here, right? This man didn't even bring that up in the video. It came out later after all the backlash, right? He handled her with so much care and dignity that even in a moment where she was disrespecting him, he refused to go tit for tat with her, right? He's going to wind up with the woman that he wants, the fit, feminine, friendly woman. He's going to find it because he has that character, right? She's just going to continue to go through these situations. Like, it's just, and I think, like, it's unfortunate, right? Because we hear so many people talk about how women don't want to take accountability. Women are allergic to it, all of this and that. This is a prime example of that. She messed up. He still tried to work with her, and she just messed up again, right? I think if she was able to take accountability, she would have humbled herself and taken the Cheesecake Factory, because she was the one that was late. She didn't respect his time. She didn't respect his leadership in picking the restaurant and all of that stuff. She chose this, and she put herself in this situation. I don't think she's getting a second date from him, right? But in the time that he had allocated to spend with her, he was still respectful to her.
One of the things that she said that stood out to me, which I was like, clearly you don't understand. No, you're not. Is that she was like, I get courted. That's not that's not what it is, right? Now it's kind of like what the video you showed before about dating. That's what she does, because the guys, the way she came across, guys want to have fun with her. She just wants to have fun. Courting is on a whole nother level, and based on what she just did, she is not that. She don't get courted by any means. And if you're getting courted, that means it's happening often, then it's not working, because the idea is to get to marriage. She's not there. So she's still dating, which is the fun part that the video that you played before is. So that kind of stood out to me in regards to what she was saying. And something I think that we can learn too, and I see this a lot in women, is that knowing your value doesn't mean that your value equates to certain financial status. You understand what I'm saying? And so I think a lot of times women get that wrong, like, you know, because they're putting a value in their looks, or I got this dress, I'm dressed up, not, you know, these kind of things, and are expecting a financial match or something like that. Whereas you could be dressed up as nice as you want, but if a man don't see the value in you, right, not what you have on, it doesn't matter. And I think that's the part where women mess that up. And clearly that's what she was on, like an hour late because she's getting ready or whatever, didn't respect his time. You know what I'm saying? Because if it was going to take her an hour, then she should have started 2 hours early, so she'll be on time, you know? So she did all of that. And then it's like, and you're going to take me here? Her value would have been, one, respecting his time. But even if that was the case, if they showed up there, that she would have been humble enough to say, I appreciate that you're doing this because I know I messed the date up, you know? But yeah, let's just try to make a good time of it, even if she didn't want to be there because it was her bad. So you humble yourself and be like, okay, yeah, all right, I'll go. And that's that. But I think a lot of times is just, you know, women can be very nasty.
So let's just let this be credence to the fact that when men say some women are insufferable and this is what they experience, I mean, I'm just lucky, man, that I got out the game when I did. Because I see Trey in the chat, and Trey says this on my show a lot. When people are trying to talk about dating and they've been married 20, 30 years, they be like, stop, because you aren't dating the women you're there. We're not dating right now. And it wasn't this bad. I could tell you, like, you know, I got out the game, let's say 10 years ago, and it wasn't this bad. That's bad. That sense of entitlement. And let's be real, nobody wants to say it. She was not that good looking at all to be doing that shit she was doing. She was not that good looking.
And
not that she had license to do it. She was better looking.
Where he messed up is the fact that he waited for the hour. That's where he messed up.
That's what,
they shouldn't have even got into the Cheesecake Factory at this point. That would have been a wrap. He should have just been like, you know what, I'm out, and that's it. Text it, call it, whatever. You know, I gotta go.
That's what I was saying to Marcus's point when he said the Will and Jada thing. What do you expect from a relationship where she never respected you? A woman, if a woman stays with you because you waited for an hour, I would never do that. You're not hearing from me anymore. So I can clearly see now. I've always had a inkling that women, like black women, don't really like men of other races. They take the opportunity to do that shit to them, right? Because you're not doing that to me. You're not doing it. A man who can get other women or even call a woman that night and go on another date. You see what I'm saying? So I feel sorry for him. And I do hope, you know, if he's really into black women, he finds, you know, somebody that won't do that to him. But that was terrible.
Bro, like you said he wouldn't do that to you.
She said, look like this, like her edges were intact or something. That's crazy.
Bro, you said wouldn't do that to you. I have multiple friends or multiple acquaintances of different races. She's not doing that shit to any of them. I do. Hink has a phrase. He says, leave them at the restaurant. I'd have dropped her ass off right there and left.
No, leave her at
Actually,
home.
we would have never got there. I would have left. I got a 17-minute rule. I literally have a 17-minute rule. It's 15 plus 2. If your ass ain't come out, I'm out. That means you do not respect my time enough to have your ass on time. I'm out.
Damn.
I'm out.
Wait a minute. I've been late a few times. Hold on.
They figure.
How could I have guessed that?
You're not respecting his time.
It's not. No. He's not respecting my distance. Usually, I have to come into. We live far as hell. You don't know what the traffic in Atlanta gonna do. Okay.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal. Like my thought is, black people got to get off of this thing, this black folks time bullshit.
No,
Because
let me just say
we
this
do
real
like
fast for
on
you
the
go.
whole. Go ahead.
But I will give you an ETA. I will call you and keep updating you on what is taking place. If there's a car accident, we never know. 285 in Atlanta. Have you ever been in Atlanta? You know, I'll take a picture of it. Like, look, yo, I don't know what this is. You know, so there are things that happen, especially when you're driving into the city. But I feel that that's what communication, effective communication. And most people don't trip because it's like, we get it, you know?
No, and I look, I get things happen, right? I can understand.
It happens a lot here.
But I'm a 30 minutes early kind of dude. Like I plan everything I do to be 30 minutes early.
Did you bring some work with you to complete or something? What the hell you showing up?
Mike, please ask again.
Like
no, because the fact of the matter is, if we set a time to do something, we have to be able to account for things that we can't account for in the event that those things do happen, like traffic, like a wreck. So if I don't run into any of that, I'm likely going to be anywhere from 30 to about 40 minutes early. If I do run into it, I'm not late. And I think that's being respectful of everybody's time involved. Period. The problem with this scenario is a little different because this woman was in the house. He was sitting in the car waiting on her to come out of her apartment for an hour-ish. Now, that's disrespectful.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, she was doing that.
You want to know what's disrespectful? What's really disrespectful is that she locked him out of his own car.
Mm-hmm.
What she did?
Yeah, it rolled down the window like that.
Hell,
hey, Shorty,
no.
I've never said that.
Hell, no.
She
said, "I'm not getting out of his car and lock his door and roll his window down." Hell no.
I'm so petty. I'd have went live too. I'd have went live
too.
You see
that happened at the end of the video?
Do what?
Bro.
That happened at the end of the video?
No, that happened in the video that Shan just showed.
He got out the car and
he said,
like, I ain't getting out the car. She locked the doors. He goes around and he tries to open the door. And she rolls down the window, is like, yes. I'm sorry, I don't call women bitch, but I would have said bitch. What the hell is your problem? There's no viable reason that you have the audacity to be out here to lock my goddamn own car door and then roll my window down as if this is your vehicle. Like, nah, bro, it's not going down like that.
I got a question for you, HD. If he got in a relationship with her after all of this, whose fault would that be?
Oh, that's
his fault.
His fault.
100%.
Oh my God.
There ain't no argument. There ain't no debate. The thing is like the fact of the matter that she had the balls. I say balls because she acted like a dude, not like no woman. She had the balls to come out here and lock his own car door after she was late. I don't care if she was late no more. But just the fact you in this man's car treating it like it's yours, nah, absolutely.
No.
Not.
So what happened?
Oh, go ahead.
What happened right there? I think is a classic case. So when a woman is not attracted to you and don't want you, and you proceed to try and ask her out on a date, that begging her for a date 15 times, she said no all them times, and she finally gave in. She disrespected your time. She felt the need to tell you how beautiful she was, as if it was something you weren't able to attain on a regular, because she was talking down to that man in a way that it's only reserved for the most disrespectful occurrences between man and women. It's no way that as a self-respecting man, when she got in that car, she probably was behaving like that before they got to the restaurant. Honestly, that probably was the tip of the iceberg, because that conversation on the way there, she don't want to talk to you. She looking out the window. She on her phone the whole time. She does not want to be there. You a free meal. And she didn't even want the free meal because it wasn't good enough at Cheesecake Factory. When a woman actually wants you, she'll share half a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with your ass at lunch at work. If she actually really wants you.
And let's be real, that was a cheesecake outfit. So I don't know what she is tripping about.
Furthermore, what's wrong with the Cheesecake Factory?
That had Fashion Nova written all over.
I knew somebody was gonna say it.
I think
what's wrong with the cheesecake? Like, I'm not gonna like. It's not my choice. It's not my choice. I'm a bonefish grill kind of guy. But what the hell is wrong with?
Factory? It's just played out. That's all it is.
I'm gonna be honest. For a first date, like how we talked about before, and I know some women are gonna disagree. Some women want that 5-star restaurant or whatever. But kind of like what Shan was saying before, a coffee date is acceptable, for her as a first date. So to me, a Cheesecake Factory, it wouldn't have bothered me because I, again, am on that same page of spending a whole bunch of money and I don't really know you and I'm trying to get to know you. That is not necessarily the environment that we go to, it's the environment that's created when we're together. So if we're at a restaurant where you're about to spend $300 and we're not vibing, that's a waste of time and money. If we go to a coffee date or the Cheesecake Factory, even though it's maybe time and we're not vibing, at least you're not breaking your pockets for that. You know what I'm saying? And if it works out and we vibe, then maybe the next date you can go all out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that wouldn't have bothered me at all.
But the thing about it is, this is one of those situations, even with the coffee date, you have some people who will play it just to keep getting stuff out of somebody. And that's equivalent to the dog we were talking about with the guys. When the person that you're not interested in this guy, because you're texting, you're doing all these things, and then you didn't even accept it. So you're not interested in him. We can tell you're not interested in him. Then he takes you to a restaurant. You want him to upscale the restaurant. You know you're not interested in him. That's a problem. That is a problem.
We
need have interest in him, and you want a higher restaurant. Like what?
That is the culture.
We need Hink to come in with a leave her ass at the restaurant. Like that's the perfect. It's the perfect Hink cut in.
But how do you leave her at the restaurant if she won't get out the car?
She about to leave.
She gonna get out the car.
Go
Listen,
ahead,
this is what you do. Okay. You let her stay in the car. You call a tow truck. You have her towed.
That's what I'm talking about. Petty Pendergrass.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, so this your car now? You about to learn today. I'm about to send you the bill. How about that?
So
you save money from eating. I mean, you might as well pay for the tow truck.
Yep.
Can I clarify my coffee date idea? Can I please? Okay. So all you daters out there. So most people don't meet at the grocery store like they used to. She said coffee. Okay, so that's why I wanted to clarify my coffee date. Okay. So because most people don't meet in public, okay, you haven't initially met this person. For one, I want to know before I even give you more of my time. Coffee dates can be short, sweet. I get a chance to see them. If I don't like them, I can make it shorter. Then we haven't missed anything. It's like that initial date. Like normally you would see if a guy approaches you in public, that's an initial conversation. But because we do online dating, you don't have that initial conversation. So I feel like that should take place in a small atmosphere where it can be short and quick if it needs to be, but it can, so I can say, hey, I am attracted to him. Okay, let's go to somewhere else. Because the worst thing is to get all dolled up, go to a restaurant and you're sitting across from somebody you just have no interest in. Like you're wasting my time. I guess meals don't do that for me. Like I love my time.
So that's actually what needs to happen, and what we need to stop doing is calling it coffee date. It is a coffee meetup because we have created this atmosphere around dating that it needs to be extravagant, or some girls are worth these type of dates. Work your way up to a date. Remember, dating ruined everything. Everybody has their own interpretation of what it's supposed to be and what they are worth and or what they deserve. So work your way up to the date. And for ladies' sake, these coffee dates and this girl was like, well, I sit down at the fountain and read. I thought that shit was so cute. Oh, like by the library, right? And she's like, there's a coffee shop. I'm usually going there. I was like, cool, I'll meet you there. You want to see people, in their element. Dates are fake. Dates create a fake atmosphere. for people. I'm looking the best I can look. That dude booty probably crusty because he didn't change his drawers. You wouldn't know, right? Meet people in their element and what they're doing every day, so you can actually get to know them, see them in broad daylight, right? There is no pressure for you, the woman, to have sex on a coffee date. I've never seen that happen.
Right? Who's thinking about sex and coffee? He's thinking more about it at dinner than he is at coffee.
Pressure for you
Well,
to do any of that. So it works in a woman's favor, and you could date faster that way. When
I got an
money is
idea
not involved, you will weed out the undesirables fast.
So HD, you can ask her, do she want to go? Like, I understand you don't want to go to Applebee's. Do you want to go shopping and then go to the mall, and then when she get out the car, drive off?
Oh my God, Marcus! No,
I'm with you because you could be so excited. See, that's why I mess with you, Marcus, because I couldn't even I couldn't even put that together. See, that's why you the man. That's why you got respect out here.
I just wanted to ask
just stop.
What?
No, he's talking about the lady in the video.
All right, let's get first date.
Valerie,
All the men.
Trying to figure out how to get out the car.
Wait, hold on. The person you were with, or the person you were with last. Let's just do this. What was your first date? The person you are with, or the person you were with last?
The person with
mistaken first date. Where was it?
At the cafeteria on college campus, and
yeah, let's get it. Meal plan.
Yeah,
let me get that swipe.
He used my meal plan. I paid for the date.
I used to be all up for the girl. Like, let me get that swipe, girl. Yeah.
I paid for the date. I gave him my meal card.
Yeah. Shan, are you thinking?
I am. I mean, we've been so many places, but I've known him for like 30 years. So we've been everywhere.
Chat, what were your first dates?
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to see who.
I've taken women out to Texas Roadhouse, Panera, Cheesecake Factory. I hate Cheesecake Factory, so I don't go there no more.
They got too many things, too many items on the menu.
What else? Just any little small restaurant. See, my thing is that I think that people should want to get to know people like really well before you start trying to pay for dates and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Like, you can casually get to know somebody via messages and conversations, like video chats and stuff like that. I think if you take your time before you go out there and spend your money, you don't feel like you're being robbed. But if you clearly have a person that you're interested in and you're trying to get to the point of getting a meetup or something like that, and they start being flaky, or they don't really seem like they want to have a conversation and nothing like that, don't waste your time. I'm in full agreement with what you guys preach is don't waste your time with these people. Like, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't waste your time. Like, there's more people in the world. And if you're just patient enough, and this is also one thing I want to say, it's not the issue that she wants to go to someplace else. As far as like the high dollar place, I don't have as much of an issue. My thing is I always want to tell women, your humbleness when it comes to dealing with men goes a long way. Even if he's testing you, your willingness to respond in a more humble fashion, will get you far with a lot of men. If we feel like you're entitled, you're a brat, you're spoiled, you're not respectful, you're not honorable, like, it's a quick and easy way that even if you have a chance with this man willing to provide for you, protect you, lead and guide and teach and do all the things you want men to do, you 100% like cut your chances to zero if he don't think that you're a respectable, humble woman. Like, absolutely not.
Y'all do realize most of those uppity ass females aren't married, right? Most wives are the light, airy. It's whatever, I just want to hang out with you. You can pick whatever. Like, that's most men's wives. Like, well, damn.
I feel like you skipped me.
So no, Valerie. I just want to see what your response is to this, because it's something that stuck out to me that was a little different. And if she can type in a chat when I say what I'm about to say after you guys finish, just to kind of explain it a little more. So she says, coffee date is not acceptable for me. It doesn't have to be a 5-star, but no low value dates for me anymore.
Then
Well,
keep waiting on your man.
So let me just say this. This is the problem with the date. So I think it's a problem if you give up, if it's not equal, it's an imbalanced relationship. For example, he took you to get coffee, then you gave him sex. Like, yeah, you got played. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But if you initially go and meet a guy and you guys have a coffee, and it doesn't have to be coffee, you can walk Stone Mountain, whatever it is that you're interested in, okay? Do that to meet him initially. Then you guys start dating and you just see how he moves as you keep going forward. The problem is people jump in the bedroom too fast and then you feel like you got played along the way. Yeah, you did. Even if he took you to the 5-star restaurant, you still got played, in my opinion. So I don't know if that's what she meant, but I think that I've seen people. I dated. Let me just say this: I had this one guy. He was a director, right? And he was in Atlanta for so long, but he worked all night because they filmed during the night. Because he's one. Well, I'm not gonna say that because you'll know, but he films all night, and his mornings are the only time he has available. You have his physicians who work all night, and guess what? The only time they really have available is after work in the morning. So sometimes you have to accommodate people's schedules. Everybody is not like, everybody can't give you their nights, if that makes sense. So you have to, be flexible.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, AP. Inaz was she had her hand
Did she
raised.
answer the question?
I didn't even answer the first question that he asked.
Well, I'll go after AP.
I'm sorry. I just saw.
I am a red flag, Trey. Run.
No, go ahead, Inaz. I can wait.
I'm sorry, AP. I just saw her. Inaz be quiet with that finger sitting there for 3 hours. So I'm sorry.
She's more than welcome to jump in. I can wait. Go ahead, Inaz.
I'll just answer this question, and I won't be long. So, if the outcome is that it's low value dates to go on coffee, then it's probably low value people. I haven't been on a coffee date that's been low value. It's always been very fruitful because it's always like a man who's a vibe is going to be a vibe regardless of the environment that you're in. And I've also had coffee dates that extended into several hours, into going for dinner and going for walks. And so your standards are your standards, and you're grown adults, so I'm not going to tell people what to do. But I think when you are more open-minded, you leave yourself open to being surprised and having more positive experiences.
Agreed.
Okay, so Inaz took the words out of my mouth on that, but I'm also going to say, well, if you don't...
Oh, she said she did answer, but go ahead, AP, and I'm going to put her answer up, but go ahead.
Back to her previous comment, I'm not going to read this one. Stay single then. It's really that simple. But to answer Trigger Mike's question, our first date was a walking trail. We actually took the long trail, had great conversation, enjoyed each other's time. Then we drove to a pizza place. We ate some pizza, like exactly what Inaz just said. We were supposed to walk maybe an hour, hour and a half, and leave it. But the vibe was dope the whole time. And you know what she ended up getting out the end of it is the same thing that I ended up getting out of the end of it.
Hey.
You'd be surprised what the low value date will get you.
I don't call it low value. That's actually high value. High budget dates is what they want. You don't get much quality out of the high budget date.
Well, so I think, look, wait, hold up, wait a minute. I said initially.
Why are y'all wait, hold on, because this is starting to become embarrassing. Why do y'all pretend like we won't advance the date?
Okay.
Like we're all cheap.
I just want to clarify. And I'm not saying you go to
like
a five,
black
not
men aren't the
everybody.
men who spend money recklessly more than every other man on earth.
Let me tell you this. So I think that as you progress, you may go out to other things, see how I like for guys to show me their personality. Like I want show me your personality, what it is that you like, because I want to learn more about. My whole point is to learn more about you. So that's what I use dates for. Because most of the time, I just order a Brussels sprouts and asparagus. Like that's my date thing. So I can get that.
That table smell like ass. Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts, and I'll let them know as long as the restaurant has Brussels sprouts or asparagus, I am down for it. Okay, I'll do broccoli as well, but it's some if I have to have meat, it's to be salmon or something like that. But
it better be like broiled or what is it called? Salted.
Yeah.
I guess for me the thing is, what is your purpose for the date, right? And so she note Valerie, she explained it here, and I understand it, but I think it's still a little off, because when she said no more low value dates, I don't know, the value part stuck out to me, just because I think I guess I have a different understanding of value. Is kind of like what Mike said, more like low budget date as opposed to value date. Yeah. Because even based on what she's saying, is that her experience is that when she went to the coffee dates or a drink, those dates, that they just wanted to smash. And then the men who have planned it, they talked more and were more relationship minded. I still think at the end of the day, they still wanted to smash.
They just had more money to smash.
Right. Either way, I just think that either way, the end result in terms of men are going to want to smash regardless. Like, if we just get that in our head, we already know that. So
let's think about it. He want to marry you because he wants to eventually have sex with you.
Right. How does that change if your focus is on the value of the date, meaning the budget, as opposed to the value of the date being the person and the intention? You can still have men that's going to spend a bunch of money on a nice date, but still have the same intentions as the guy that's spending the low budget date. So I guess for me, that was what stuck out the most, is that I think sometimes we placing the value in the wrong thing, expecting different results.
Let me put this to Dub Wills. So a dude hired me for a second date, and he was one of my students, but he hired me to do a private session for some girl. And I thought, oh, this must be his girl. No, this was their second date, to give her the whole class. Because he said that I told him to get his license to carry. I taught him all that stuff and all. And then he started carrying, and she was like, oh my God, you have a gun. Like, she opened his center console, and she was like, yeah, I just gotten really into it. I've been getting coaching, taking private lessons. And he was like, well, I don't want you to be afraid. How about I take. That girl left out of that thing like, this was so much fun. Oh my God, I never thought anybody would think of anything like this. That was a dope ass date for that girl, I'm telling you. Trigger might go to heatdefensive.com if you'd like to schedule a private lesson, Houston, Texas area.
I love it. I love this idea. I think that's so much fun. Mm-hmm. But I did want to kind of talk to what Mistaken was saying as well. There's a lot of women that place value in how invested a man seems, right? Because coffee is a low investment, women feel like it's also a low investment towards them. Mm-hmm. Whereas because dinner is a larger investment financially, they feel like, and time-wise, right? They feel like that's more an investment in them. Unfortunately, kind of to what we were talking about earlier, the guys who don't have intention on actually being in a relationship just have more time to run game. It doesn't actually mean that they're more serious about relationships, right? The men who go on coffee dates, like, it's the same intentions. They just don't have as much time to run game. I think that when you're with quality people, doesn't matter whether it's a short and like a short investment time wise or a low investment monetarily, they're still going to invest in you. They're going to invest in the conversation. They're going to invest in the follow up. They're going to actually care about you. But I wanted to also attack it from the other side, right? There's a lot of women who show up to dates and are super boring. And I'm not saying that this is this lady here. They're not engaging in the conversation. They're asking questions about finances in the first 10 minutes. They only want to talk about celebrities. Like there's no flow to the conversation, right? Yes, dinner gives you more of that opportunity, but if you can't do it on a quick coffee date, you too are faking the funk on a dinner date, right? So maybe there's some social skills there that need to be revamped or kind of accelerated. But I would encourage women to honestly evaluate how they behave on dates.
So I have a question. Maybe Valerie, you could probably respond to this as well. So if the value is about for her the low budget, like because she said she felt that if they spend more money, they invest more, like kind of what you was explaining, Inaz. So my question is what if it's not a coffee date, but they did planned a picnic in the park? Would that be considered low value? Because maybe he just got a few things, not a whole smorgasbord of whatever, but maybe like some sandwiches and I don't know, right? That he planned a date in the park, didn't spend a whole lot of money. Would that be considered a low value date?
Unless it's catered by Ruth Chris, probably in her opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
and the reason I asked that is because if her point was if they spend more money, then they tend to it tends to be more value or whatever.
What happened to
my
as Black people? We don't worship God. As Black people, we don't worship God. We worship money.
But my point with that is with that picnic date, to me, I think that shows more value because it's going to take time, effort, planning, all of those things.
Thoughtfulness.
Right.
Or if he listens to your conversation and he hears something you say you like, and it may not cost, and he just like that is so sacred. But let me just say, and then it's building, you guys. Like, again, if you don't rush and he's not rushing, you eventually see. He'll start building. You'll see the investment later on. It's just people try to rush things. So, and me included, you try to rush things. Slow down. Get to know each other. Don't move fast. Neither, and you'll see that if he starts to, put you as a priority, take you out, want to, tickle your fancy or whatever you call it. But mistaken, I want to answer this question. You asked the question about what's the date, like the point of the
purpose. What is your purpose for a date?
Right. And like I think I've mentioned this before in another one, it gives you an idea of the person, like their taste, what they like. I know I told you guys about that guy who took me to this hood spot. And he had, a pretty nice career. And he took the gun. I told y'all about that. And then somebody pulled up, he had to take a gun. And I was like, oh, no. This is not what, but that was his thing, and I'm like, we would never, because you would never have me here again. These were not my type of people. Sorry. I did that one time, y'all. This is a real story. I did that one time hanging out with somebody I wasn't supposed to be hanging out with, and I got shot in the leg.
Excuse me? Whoa, what?
And that was the year I met Shan.
That was the year.
That was the year I met Shan.
I came to work with a bullet hole in my leg.
I was like, oh,
wait, what happened? What happened?
Like, look, you awake now too? Like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Wait, you got shot?
She got shot.
Was
with
not my
what caliber?
So he was
you look like you can walk.
No, it was a 45. So I found that out because I'm not really a gun person. And I was like, a 45, what is that? So
you Megan Thee Stallion, you got grades. You ain't get shot with a 45.
Listen, I got my hood credits now, y'all. Don't sleep on me.
You still got your leg? I thought that was an intact leg I saw.
You know what's so funny? The guy that I was dating I wasn't really dating him. He was trying to get to know me a little bit. And so he took me out. He invited me somewhere. He was in the music industry. He was an exec. And it just so happened the artist wasn't really my cup of tea. Not my normal, genre, T5 used to hang around. And my intuition kept on saying, leave. And I did not listen to my intuition because these were not the type of, let me stop talking because these people may be in the audience. But anyway, I should have left. And then this was back in the day when people were stealing people's chains. Y'all remember that? Back in the day when they were taking people's chains?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, people was snatched.
Yeah, and somebody tried to take somebody's chain, and I think I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, they tried it at the movie theater. Like they're fast too. Like want to tap you on the shoulder, the other one grab your chain this way. Yeah, they were slick with that shit.
Really happened.
Leg with a 45. Do you care to just hold your leg up real quick? And
I am not gonna show you. I'm gonna so good.
Look,
okay,
man,
I'll show y'all afterwards.
We gotta see this. No, please, we want to sympathize with you. Super chat if you want to see the gunshot. Look. Super chat if you want to see the gunshot.
I have an entrance and exit. It went straight splash.
Will 199. You got shot by 45. You won't
send super chat. I want to see it. I want to see it. Do y'all know what a 45 caliber is?
Right.
That was the first gun I actually shot at a gun range, and I did really good.
It's so funny. I got shot a week before I met. It was a couple of days, right? I think I could make it like 4 or 5 days later.
It's teacher planning week.
Listen, I came into the office like, hi. It's like, what?
It might have been a 22, maybe. Like that. I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
Listen, my students said, they called my name. They was like, we saw you, the cameras, because they had the news people there. And they had the camera, and it's like, you were fixing your hair, getting in the... I saw those cameras. Oh, you can laugh about it now. Was it funny at the moment?
Nah.
It said, Shosha, get a super chat up. If we get to
$30.
No. This is a $200 or nothing.
How y'all gonna auction my womb?
We auctioning the leg.
No, you're not. I'm gonna take a picture of it and put it in the back.
Oh, what if she got like a detachable, like at the kneecap, and we never knew? Damn, like look, guys.
Wait, which movie that is? She started taking off her leg. It was like, don't let me come laughing after you. Wait,
you said what was taken? What did you say?
What was that old movie? Oh my God!
Be careful about the company you keep, you guys. And that was a night date.
The lady, she took off her leg.
He accidentally shot you, right?
I can't think of the name of that movie.
That's how you got shot. It was by accident.
Oh yes. So somebody tried to steal somebody's chain, and it was a lot of people, and they were trying to get the person who was taking the chain. It was somebody's bodyguard. I'm not gonna say any names because you would know who he is. But and his name was actually on my police report. But and
was it Jeezy and Gucci Man?
The wrong spots.
Might have been.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. Here's a thug. I got thug credits. I'm not a thug.
You could have launched a rap career.
This one was funny. Look at this.
Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it.
Instead of Chamonix, Chamolay.
I can't stand y'all. I'm glad you guys are laughing at my I was a victim. Hello. I was a victim on a date.
Oh, that was funny. That was hilarious.
I don't know how this story never came up before.
What if we never had we were talking about dates. How this date's gone wrong. That was my date that went wrong.
People making comments, your Meg style.
Let me tell y'all about my date though. So they ended up transporting me to Grady, right? And Grady never has rooms. My date was like, sir, it was a physician. He was an Indian guy. He's a physician. He said, we don't have any rooms. We have to put you in the hallway. He said, no. Let me speak to you for a second. He put him to the next thing you know, I don't know who they took down in their room, but I had me a room. Thank you, sir. He was not playing. He was so attentive. He was just so nice to me.
It said leg the stallion. Yo, these are hilarious.
Leg the stallion.
You guys are not funny.
These are hilarious.
You know, this is why victims don't speak up. It's like victim abuse.
Hilarious.
I don't know how this story never came out.
Well,
yeah, I had met her. That was the first time that I met her. Mm-hmm. She was in the streets, y'all.
I was not in the streets on other dates. It wasn't even late.
How long did you date him after that?
Wheelchair too. You had people rolling you around.
Yes, that was so extra. I had students rolling my like, can you push the chair, baby? Not so fast.
Oh, that was hilarious. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. That was funny. Let's see.
This is horrible that you guys are laughing at a victim. Horrible.
Here's another super chat from Dub Will.
Shot my pinky toe.
They're looking like Della Reese on Harlem Nights. My pinky toe.
You got my pinky toe. Oh, hilarious. Thanks for the laugh, Shan.
But
Trigger might fall out of his chair.
I learned so much about it. You know, I fear of them.
Did Trigger might fall? He got shot too.
Is that his leg? Oh no, that's his hand.
That night, actually 3 people got shot that night. It was me and 2 other people.
Right.
One guy, he actually got shot in the torso. So
I need to rewind that. Did he really fall?
I don't know. I just looked over and seen a little black hat in the hand waving. I'm like, oh shit.
Y'all remember when I fell the chair backstage?
Listen, let me just say you this. The moral of the story of my story is listen to your intuition. If you just listen. I promise you, I kept saying, Shane, you need to leave. You need to leave. Like, this is not your crowd. And then you listen.
Mm-hmm. Why won't we have that same intuition when we're dating?
We do. It's called that's those red flags they keep telling y'all about. They
don't listen to them. You said listen to your intuition.
Right. No, but they ignore it. Just like I ignored that night. And
don't listen to
they be ignoring on these days.
Listen to your daddy.
I have a question for you men. Because I know like when a lot of times when Shannon's making a point, she's speaking from a woman's perspective in terms of experiences and what women experience. Have you guys personally experienced ever being played by a woman that you really liked?
Don't lie.
Yeah. I honestly have.
If you're gonna pursue,
thank you, Black.
If you're gonna pursue in the first off, this whole what is it called? Sexual marketplace. If you're going to enter that marketplace, I think you're opening yourself up to be played.
No, I said, have you personally experienced being with a girl that you actually liked?
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't.
Okay.
The whole show today was about relationship red flags and how we ignored them for a woman that we was feeling, and she played the fuck out of.
What about
you? Play? When you say play, you mean like in a relationship and she played you, or like you met her, you thought she was decent, then found out she was a buzzer like the first day or something?
I meant more along the lines of you were really feeling her and got played. And like, you know,
no. So when I was like 11 or 12, it was no, long ago. I've heard the story before. I was like 11 or 12. It was this girl. I thought she was cold. I liked her. You know, I was just getting into the dating world. And
At 11?
39
you know, I
years
lived with
ago. Like,
my high school girlfriend at like 15, 16. I was out the house with a whole living girlfriend. Menage for the virginity move. You know what I'm saying? But shorty, I thought she was cold. So I super dark skin, super chocolate, super bad. Body on point for us at that age. And I was trying to like push up on her. And then I found out, so we got this gang called Cicero Insanes, right? The vice lords from where I'm from. I found out they was all busting her down. I was sick, like, damn, shorty, a goer. That's my experience, my one experience though.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't in love or nothing. I just was trying to pursue her and found out she was
in
flipping.
love.
No, I wasn't.
So that's not really being played though.
Yeah, Marcus doesn't want to tell us the truth. It's okay.
That's not the same, bro.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's my story. After that, you know what I did do? I never put nobody in a position they didn't earn. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, shit, I'm gonna listen to your ass, watch you, and observe, and see what the streets talking about. So,
what about you?
It's so funny. You know, men seem to fall for the women who do have that secretive past for whatever reason. Those are the women that men usually fall for.
Mm-hmm. Now, have any of you experienced it more than once? Those of you who have said that y'all.
No. One good time.
So it takes one. Okay. So I think maybe that's where, I don't know, women get it wrong. Well, I can't say wrong. I don't know. Because I think women, I think you guys learn in a way that it happens once, it's never going to happen again. Whereas women, I don't know why we don't move like that.
Because men move with this, we move with this. Two different things. Two different.
Someone said it.
Go ahead, Trigger Mike.
No, someone said something really mean. It was some psychologist that said it, and it was perfectly worded. They said women put themselves. It has something to do with victimhood. Meaning, if you put yourself in the same cycle over and over, you're playing the game to see if you can actually beat it, because women are made of hope. So you get to express this love for this person, this opportunity to change them, but if it all goes wrong, you still get to be the victim. So it's some kind of psychological game that I wasn't willing to play, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when it happens to us as dudes, like, we're legit heartbroken. Like, I was heartbroken.
The person who's being played is the victim.
So
yeah,
so that's a very different question though, Trigger Mike, from being played. Have you ever had your heart broke? That's not necessarily.
No, my heart was broken from being played.
Oh, my bad. So mistaken. In my experience, women talk too much. And what ends up happening is, and this is before I became intentional, what ends up happening is men are observant. We listen. So the more you talk, the more information that we have gathered about you. The more we learn about you, the easier it is, and I hate to say it, but it's the honest truth, the easier it is to manipulate the situation to get whatever it is that we want. And I think that's one of the reasons why it happens more to women than to men, because we'll give you that false hope, because we know now exactly what you are looking for. We know exactly how you move. We have sorted you out, and now we can hunt.
This the dog I was talking about, AP. You just described him. The dog we were talking about.
I never said I wasn't him at one point in time. Like shit.
Described him.
Yeah, you see the immediate like, dang nabbit.
That's all I got on that. Go ahead, Marcus. I'm sorry.
Boy, this game got good.
Yeah, bro, it's 33-36.
What game?
Bro.
It's a game on TV?
Colorado.
Oh, they're playing?
That
how are they doing?
It's 33-36.
Zap.
Yo,
it's 33-31, and who's winning?
No, it's 33-36, and Colorado's winning.
This defense getting so exposed. His other son, Shiloh, he can't even go into the draft this year. He can't even go.
Nope.
Don't go.
All right, y'all want to wrap it up so y'all can watch the game?
Well, shit, it's almost over. It's 5 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game.
You better let them know, AP. You better let them know. Tomorrow's homecoming for me, Tuskegee.
Okay, now we know it's almost over. Trigger Mike was waiting for the bounce.
I'm heading. I'm heading.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to add something before we go?
What program is Tuskegee? Somebody asked me a question, and I thought they thought I was going to give an uppity answer, like would I let my children go to an HBCU? I went to an HBCU.
Which HBCU did you go to, Mike?
I went to Norfolk State University.
Oh.
And
what was your question?
Oh, you a Spartan? My God.
Spartan. Indeed. My homecoming's in 2 weeks. Shan titty bounce.
I can't help it, they move when I move. I can't help it, they move when I move.
Yeah, they put Hampton and Norfolk State's homecoming
on the same day. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. The tailgate is 2-pack, so that might be a good thing. Norfolk State people gonna stay loyal to the soil anyway, but that tailgate is 2-pack. It's 2-pack. So,
hey, Trigger Mike, how she do it again?
He said I moved my shoulders. Okay. I will be celebrating Tuskegee this week, Clark next week, and Morehouse. Well, what's it called? Spell House.
Fatty gonna clip that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
My question was, what is the program? Because a lot of the Jack and Jill people,
it's a lot of industrial.
Everybody,
we were one of the first schools, and it's like more industry. It's not really a liberal arts school. It's more like if you want to go into STEM. Things of that nature. They do have some liberal arts degrees, but not many. Most of them are like around STEM and all that kind of stuff.
I know like
program is pretty good.
Xavier is known for its medical. I think like they graduate the most MDs or something like that, or biology. Mm-hmm. But yeah, of course I let my children go to HBCU. Absolutely.
And I love Mike. I would not trade that experience for the world. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Mm. All right.
So much so we relive it every year. We go to homecoming.
PWIs for mine, but we I can't say we. I have been to a few.
Like some of the Colorado players yelling at Dion.
Would y'all let your wife go to homecoming?
Why wouldn't you?
Without me? Without me?
Let's say she wanted to go with her college like roommates and friends.
Out of the question.
What? What do you think?
I have been to way too many.
No,
I have been to way.
My wife went to UB
for that.
She went to UB.
She said that's just white. She went where?
Yeah, I was at Buck State.
For her sister's. Yeah, we went for her sister's graduation.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, she can go to a PWI.
Oh, y'all went to the same school, right?
Yeah. Well, no, UB is different from Buck State. So, but they like right near each other. We both, go back and forth to meet people. UB was way bigger than.
Oh, so that's where you went to meet your husband when you was trying to.
No,
cycling. Oh,
okay. No, he lived off campus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was traveling on bike for that.
Yeah. Where you going?
She made real effort.
In the middle of a snowstorm with a Sherlin coat on.
With a Sherlin? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
sure did.
That's old school for real.
Mm-hmm. Sure did. Not too long ago, he said, I miss that girl. Yeah.
She don't run no more.
She don't
ride bikes no more.
She don't roll right out your life.
Them knees delicate now.
They rode a bike to my house one time. I ain't seen her on that bike since.
Them knees are delicate now.
I'm gonna ride the bike to your house. Now, mind you, me and Mistaken live a pretty good distance away from each other. I saw her butt on that bike. I was like, oh my goodness.
I just want to say one thing real quick. The PWI homecoming and the HBCU homecoming is not the same.
Of course.
So I wanted to clarify real quick. If she wanted to go to Virginia Tech's homecoming by herself or with her friends, she's more than welcome to. If she wants to go to Winston-Salem or North Carolina A&T with her friends or by herself, that's an absolutely hell no.
Hell no.
No. So I just wanted to make that distinction.
No.
So I shouldn't ask my husband, can I go to homecoming with Shan?
Girl, your husband gonna be like, go, bye.
Yeah, he probably. I mean,
see, but you gotta remember what
been a homecoming before.
You want to come?
Y'all got 20 years
did
in
her
though.
master's at Hampton.
You want to
That's why I
come,
met
Terry?
her.
You want to come? Mistaken?
I can't. I told you my grandmother's here this weekend.
See, y'all got 20 years in though. That's like go.
I was gonna say that
go,
like literally.
go.
I think by 20 years I'd be like, bye. What did you say?
Gone.
Can I go to bye?
Gone now.
Let me play with my guns. I'm polishing
Should I
guns.
feel some kind of way when he's excited when I'm gone?
No, he just tired of you.
He's getting peace and quiet at home.
You
know
what?
No.
Relationships never really stop. Let me be honest. I'm not being facetious.
He said, "I feel
Y'all
real
women-
gangster."
That's what I was about to say. I bet not go.
Listen, y'all are work. Y'all are work. I think women tend to need a little more interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all like to talk to us sometimes. Y'all like to make us your homegirl. So
Jesus Christ.
When I go to homecoming in a few weeks, my wife decided, she's like, because her best friends come over, she's like, B's coming over and we're gonna do Halloween stuff with the kid. I was like, and that'd have been my ass if I didn't get the fuck up out of here. Like, you see what I'm saying? I was like, damn. That's like a vacation.
I'm going to Tuskegee's homecoming this week, Clark's homecoming next week, and the week after that, I'm going to Spellhouse, which is Morehouse/Spellman.
I'll come home. He'll be in the same spot,
Clarity.
looking at me like, what are you doing back? Like, he got his beer, his food, his kitchen's a mess.
Look.
Like, he was
think about
chilling.
it.
Yes, I'll be there, Torrance.
You seem very vibrant, like you like to do activities. So even if it's like stuff that involves not sitting down, right? Like we won't. So it's like, hey, babe, what are you doing? How about we just get up? Let's go to Lowe's and peruse around. Let's look for what we're gonna put in the garden. Like you like we be like cool, but we be like, I could have just sat my ass here with my beer, right? You know what I mean? You gotta entertain your woman a lot, and she wants to go out, she wants to move. Hey, there's a new jazz joint. I saw it on Instagram. We should take the kids to grandparents. So you were just gonna chill, but you're like, okay, let's go. Yeah, he'd be like, man, get out of here. Yeah.
Don't forget your bulletproof vest,
I guess I don't need to go with you, Shan. You're gonna give me
First
shot.
of all, Tuskegee is not that environment.
It's in the hood though.
It's not in the hood. It's definitely in a small town, but I wouldn't consider it hood.
I got a bulletproof hoodie you could borrow, Shan.
Look, y'all, that was. Listen,
run that clock.
Happened almost.
Yes, we're looking at the same thing, TM.
I'm like, run that clock, y'all.
That happened almost 20 years ago, and I was clearly somewhere out of my element. Like I was not in the space I should have been in. Okay, but I was trying to get a guy a chance.
You seen them
Go
bulletproof
much further. I liked how he moved in the hospital, I must say, but it did not go much further after that. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm really big on health stuff. Like nah, I can't. I'm a scary cat. I can't.
Okay,
yeah,
Marcus, I got a question because I've never seen a bulletproof hoodie. Did you go to the Continental to pick it up, or how'd you go about getting it?
A bulletproof hoodie? What?
I'm about to go pull it. I'm about to get it.
Oh, he was serious.
I'm sorry.
I thought he was making a joke.
He has a bulletproof hoodie for real?
Oh,
Yeah, that's why I wondered where he got it, because those services are only offered at Continental.
Purchasing mag extensions, I could make another purchase tonight if I
I've
like.
never heard of a bulletproof. I thought he was making a joke.
What's funny, Enos?
Oh, he is.
You've been quiet tonight. What's funny?
She just listens to y'all shenanigans.
Yep, that's it. We don't get access to all that fun stuff quite as much up
Marcus.
here.
Oh, I forgot.
Luckily,
Marcus
y'all
likes to
don't
live in them
need it.
areas.
No, he lives. Never mind. He lives in Chicago. He needs that.
He like to live in the.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, oh, here's dang, he's so serious.
He likes to take one for the team.
Wow.
So now, Marcus, do you have a gold coin?
A what?
A gold coin. If you got it at the Continental, you must have had a gold coin.
Oh, you talking about John Wick?
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I would love to continue this conversation with you guys, but I have to get on the road to go to one of the best homecomings in the world. Tomorrow.
Are you cheering?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I think I'm done cheering. I can't get low no more. Like, look.
How far is Tuskegee from ATL?
Oh, about it depends on where you live in Atlanta, but for me, it's about 2 hours. But for some people, it's like an hour and a half. If you're by the airport, it takes you about maybe an hour and a half to get there.
That's not bad. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What time is the game tomorrow?
1 o'clock. Well, 12:30 for the pregame, but 1 o'clock.
Damn it. Okay.
I'm gonna go 1 year with you, Shan. Maybe next year.
Yeah, could have went this year. Grandma could have came.
All right, y'all.
All right, good night, you guys. Thank you for being here. Next week, don't know what time, because that's just how my life
will be
goes.
bouncing in this month.
You know,
So
if you see 9:30, you can bet around 10:15, 10:30.
Black folk time.
We gonna be here. Oh, AP, you be showing up late too. Don't do it in your car. Here I go. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
I don't know why you put me on blast. Okay, in the show.
Don't do it.
Oh,
you may not show up late for a date, but you show up late for this show.
Not most of the time.
No, not most of the time you're on time. You're right. Peace, guys.
I'll be on time too.
I do not have a gun.
I'll be on time too.
I have a fear of them because of that. Like, it's like a whole thing.
I want to make sure that we acknowledge Paul K. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I gave him a shout out already, I think. So. All right, good night, everybody. See you next week. Ended the stream.